Steven Universe is a rock-type Pokemon.
Why? Okay, sure.
Well, more like rock normal. Because he's a rock!
I know!
He's got a rock in him.
I know! We were... Oh... Hello and welcome to Late to School, an anime watchcast. I'm Lorena.
And I'm Zach.
And today we're watching our second movie.
Yeah, and it's, everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills.
Everybody wants to get there faster?
Make their way to the top of the hill.
You try?
To find?
One more step up the ladder.
I think we skipped
It's
a whole new world we live in. It's a brand new way to
This
be.
isn't even the right one. Pokemon Johto.
Come on, Johto.
We're watching Pokemon the first movie.
Yeah.
Also known in Japan as Pokemon the movie Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Okay. Isn't it? I saw on Wikipedia. Wikipedia identifies it as Pokemon the first movie as Pokemon the first movie Mewtwo Strikes Back.
I do not believe that is the official title in Western territories.
Okay.
I believe it is only Pokemon the first movie.
Okay.
Mewtwo Strikes Back is the Japanese subtitle.
Okay.
It's also called Pokemon the first movie in America because
they already knew that there
was a second movie already. The movie was produced by OLM Inc., which has a name that I don't feel comfortable saying, so I'm just going to stick with the acronym.
Okay.
Who produce the Pokemon series as a whole.
Okay.
And distributed by Toho. For English release, it was produced by Nintendo and 4Kids Entertainment.
Okay.
Who, I believe this is the first time we're seeing 4Kids on this show, because 4Kids dubs are bad, so I don't want to watch them.
But they're quite a big name.
They're quite infamous.
Quite infamous, quite prolific.
They cast a long shadow.
Which also makes sense, because Shadow, the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Sonic was 4Kids, right?
Yeah,
There's also a lot of 4Kids.
So Shadow
actors.
the Hedgehog, the video game, was the first Sonic game to be dubbed by 4Kids.
Okay. Yeah. I was accidentally very accurate.
You were accidentally very right. It was also licensed for distribution by Warner Brothers. The movie was directed by Kunihiko Yuyama.
I really thought you were about to say Ikuhara.
God, can you imagine? And written by Takeshi Shudo. But yeah, so the movie is actually technically 3 individual parts that we have watched.
Right, yes. I feel like we should preface this a little bit, in case anybody doesn't know about Pokemon.
Right, yeah. How...
Okay, so Pokemon is a video game franchise, first and foremost.
Created by Game Freak.
Yes.
Who is basically like a subsidiary of Nintendo.
It's an RPG about catching monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an anime. There was and is an anime that is focused around a version of the stories told in the games.
Very loosely, yeah.
Yes. With lots of original characters, or characters that are not quite original, but like are being expanded upon.
Yeah, characters who appear in the games and basically become OCs.
Yes. Which is a pretty good... I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good sort of aesthetic. And this movie was not, as I understand it, it wasn't a sequel to the show. It was it's sort of a mid prequel.
I believe it came out in between the first series / season of the Pokemon show, which covered the first games, essentially. Which is why we'll get to some cameos.
Okay, yeah, but this is sort of like these characters are not original to this movie,
Right?
So
no.
there is some stuff where it's like you got to know these characters.
Yeah, the
ahead
movie
of time.
very much expects you to have watched the show.
It's sort of like an extended episode of the show.
Yeah.
Which we have both watched the show before.
Yes.
It has been fucking centuries since I watched.
It's been
Pokemon.
a billion years since I've watched the original show. I recently watched a few episodes of the latest series of the show.
Okay.
Which is pretty good.
Cool. I remember liking it a lot as a kid, and I have, again, this is another movie that I have seen before, but it was so long ago I barely remembered anything about it.
Right. So, with that said, the movie is kind of divided into 3 parts.
Yes.
There's a Pixar-style short.
Yes.
That comes before the movie.
Pixar style, except it does have to do with not the plot of the movie, but the characters.
Right, yes.
It is Pokemon based.
And aired before the movie in theaters, which is called Pikachu's Vacation. And then there's a prologue to the movie.
Yeah.
That was not included in the original distribution of the film in theaters.
Okay.
In America, at least. Or actually, I think was not included in the original distribution of the film at all. Was added later for a special VHS release of the film in Japan.
Okay.
Which I think then also got a limited screening in theaters.
Okay.
But not in America. The only way to see this short in America was to buy the VHS.
Okay.
Or to buy the DVD later.
Okay. Huh.
Which is the origin of Mewtwo.
Yeah.
And then there's the film itself.
Right. And I assume we'll be talking about those in order.
Yes, I think that makes the most sense.
Right.
So the first one we have to talk about is Pikachu's Vacation, which doesn't have it's a comedy short, so there's not a lot of plot to talk about really.
No.
It's just, it's cute.
Yeah.
The basic setup is Ash, Misty, and Brock, who are the 3 main characters of the show and the movie, have come to a sort of resort?
A resort theme park. It's more of a resort.
A Pokemon daycare, if you will.
Except really big, unlike the Pokemon daycares in the games.
Yeah. Everything in the anime is blown up from how big it is in the games.
True.
And they're I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they just let their Pokemon out to hang out and have some fun at this theme park.
Yeah. It's got a big mountain in it. Probably an artificial mountain, I imagine.
Maybe.
That has Hollywood style Pokemon on a big letter sign. And then there's also another sort of archway sign that says Pokemon in the logo, in the font, the logo font for the anime. And then there's another sign that also just says Pokemon underneath that last sign.
They gotta let you know. This is the Pokemon place. In this Pokemon world, this is the Pokemon place.
There is this. Where is it? Pokemon.
Pokemon.
This is set in Pokemon.
So they let out other Pokemon, which are Pikachu, obviously the series mascot, and Ash's friend.
He's a little electric mouse. I'm gonna keep talking as if the people watching this haven't.
Right,
don't know even the basics of Pokemon.
Bulbasaur and Squirtle.
Yeah, there's the tiny turtle Pokemon, and I can't remember what Bulbasaur's species name is.
Bulb.
But is it Bulb?
I don't fucking know.
Okay. It's a dinosaur with a leaf. No. Bulb. The word is bulb.
On it.
It's kind of in the name.
Staryu and Goldeen.
Okay.
Yeah,
so Goldeen
is
a goldfish.
A koi.
A koi, right. And Staryu is a starfish.
Geodude and Onyx.
So Geodude is this rock with arms who looks angry all the time. And Onyx is a snake also made of rock. They both belong to Brock, who is
right, yes,
he's the rock type
he
guy.
trains rock Pokemon, and the Staryu and Goldeen belong to Misty, who, as both indicated by their names, Misty trains water type Pokemon.
Although Brock also they have other Pokemon that aren't
right, like for example Vulpix, who is also here.
Yes, yeah, Togepi. Togepi is a major character in this short. Togepi is okay. Togepi is
you described Togepi.
An egg that's got its. So it was an egg. All Pokemon used to be eggs, but
Togepi has a very unique egg style.
It was an egg, and its little feet pop out the bottom of the egg, and it's got little hands that pop out top, and its little head comes out, and its body seems to be egg shaped,
right?
And its head is just sort of a pointy head,
right?
Am I getting just weird deja vu, or have I tried to describe Togepi on this show before?
I don't know when you would have possibly had to describe Togepi.
Togepi.
I think that bit has served its course.
Yes.
If you don't, if you somehow are not familiar with Pokemon, and I don't say that to shame people who aren't.
It's just it's astonishing. Shock that you're watching this show.
It's astonishing that someone could be unfamiliar, and I respect your power. But if you are unfamiliar, you can just look up the Pokemon when we mention them. I'm sorry that we can't take the time to describe every one.
We can describe notable ones, maybe.
Yeah, sure. So they're all at this resort, and they're just alone. They're gonna have a time.
Yeah, Ash. Before the humans just leave this story entirely, Ash tells Pikachu to watch Togepi,
and
because Togepi is baby.
Basically, there's a series of scenes where Togepi is baby and is crying, and the other Pokemon want to get them. I don't know Togepi's gender.
Yeah, I don't know. So
I'm pretty sure Pikachu is a boy, because even in the modern show, he has the tail.
Yeah.
Thing. He does not have the heart on his tail that female Pikachus have.
Yes. But a lot of other Pokemon are harder to tell there, and it's exacerbated by the fact that the anime refuses to refer to any given Pokemon as anything other than it.
Yeah, which I will not do. I'm uncomfortable with.
I don't even know if they refer to Meowth as anything other than it.
I think they do. I think there's a scene in the movie later where they refer to Meowth as he.
Okay.
But Togepi is crying, and all the other Pokemon try to calm them down.
I do want to point out. Also, there was a song that plays over the sort of opening credits where we see a bunch of Pokemon running towards the resort. So
this movie has a whole soundtrack with vocal songs. Including this song, which is Vacation by Vitamin C.
Okay.
I don't know anything else about the song besides that.
Okay.
And I don't know anything else about the other songs that will appear besides the name and who did them.
Also, all the, I don't know if they're just original to the dub, but all of the songs are in English.
They are completely original to the dub, yes.
Okay.
Some of them are, appearing in place of songs that were in Japanese.
Okay.
Some of them are just, they put them in there.
Okay. Fair enough. A lot of them are really good.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't.
Some of them aren't.
This one's really good. The intro one.
The Pokemon eventually calm down Togepi.
Yeah.
And then a group of troublemakers appear.
Some mischief-making Pokemon.
Consisting of a Raichu.
Yes. Which is a big Pikachu.
A Cubone.
A Marill. And a Snubbull.
Yeah, and I believe this movie is the first time that Snubbull and Marill debuted.
Really? Oh, that's right, because I forgot Marill was a second-gen Pokemon.
Yeah, Marill and Snubbull are both from the second generation of Pokemon games, and I believe this is the first time they've shown up at all.
Just in general?
Just
in any
general.
Media or in
any
the
media.
anime?
In any media.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool. They do also identify Snubbull. We get some narration from the
This
Pokedex.
Short is very sparsely narrated by,
and the Pokedex identifies Snubbull as a newly discovered Pokemon.
Yeah, and they're just being loud, so the other Pokemon run over and are like, "Hey, shh, don't wake the baby."
The baby.
And the troublemaker Pokemon get kind of annoyed.
I I think that's the only reason they're troublemakers, really,
Yeah,
is they just kind of
uh-huh.
get annoyed
Yeah.
at the other Pokemon telling them what to do.
Like, they're not
And then-
doing anything really bad.
No, and then from that point on, there's a
Yeah.
rivalry between these groups of Pokemon.
And so, like, the rest of the short is a series of scenes of the Pokemon, like, competing. I don't think it would be interesting to go over, like, the individual things that happen,
yeah,
really.
that's fair. I noticed a cameo of the Jigglypuff with the pen,
Yes.
who is
so,
a recurring character in the anime.
This short does have a weird thing, which is it's structured like a gag anime. Like an anime that are based off of 4-panel gag manga tend to do
Mhm.
this thing where there's like a very short scene,
Uh-huh.
then there's like a transition.
Yeah.
And in this movie it has like transitions that are just like weird animations of Pokemon.
Yes, and some of them are kind of creepy.
Yeah, there's one where a Bellsprout like slides
Yeah.
into frame.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like Bellsprout. Bellsprout.
There's one, the fucking Magnemite one
Yeah.
is a fucking jump scare that where it's just like a bunch of Magnemites are all like Magnemite, and like slowly more and more Magnemites appear until eventually they all just rush the fucking camera.
It's very weird. Especially because this is a thing that aired in theaters and didn't have ad breaks.
Yes, and also the transitions just interrupt the ongoing action sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there'll be scenes that like there is not strictly speaking any significant amount of time or change of scene between these transitions, but there'll still be a transition.
Mm-hmm. As these like competitions are happening, we also see that Team Rocket's Pokemon,
Yes.
Team Rocket, the group of
villains,
criminals.
Yes.
No, they're not the villains.
They're not they're the most interesting characters in the show.
Their Pokemon are here, which are Weezing,
yes,
Arbok,
and
Meowth.
Meowth, who is one of the few Pokemon that can talk.
Yeah. And they're just trying to take a nap.
Yeah.
They're just trying to relax, but they keep getting interrupted by games. By sports.
By shenanigans.
You know, and eventually, like, the Pokemon, they get tired out from all their sport.
Well, they
Right, there's a bit where a Charizard...
Yes, who I think might be Ash's Charizard, I'm not sure.
Probably Ash's Charizard? The Charizard is also trying to take a nap and is annoyed by the games, and tries to chase down the Pokemon to throttle them, but gets his head stuck in a tube. And like the Pokemon all sort of come together.
Ash's Pokemon come together to try to pull him out, and they can't do it. So then Pikachu becomes the ambassador and tries to get the troublemaking Pokemon that they were rivals with before to help out. And they do. And
then the short ends with them like they're friends now.
Yeah.
And they say goodbye.
Pikachu shakes Snubble's hand.
Snubble, who I guess is the leader?
Yeah.
It's weird that it isn't Raichu, but I guess that would be, too similar.
Yeah.
And the Ash, Misty, and Brock's Pokemon all return.
There is a moment where Meowth wakes up from his nap again and is fucking angry and has a bomb that he's going to use to throw at the other Pokemon. And I don't know where he got a bomb.
He's a criminal.
But
they just have those.
Fair, especially the ones that are just a black sphere with a little fuse that is already lit somehow.
And that's basically the end of the short. They return, they say their goodbyes and return.
Ash is like, "Did you have fun, Pikachu?" And Pikachu's like, "Pikachu." Because that's all it...
Yeah, that's how Pikachu sounds.
Pikachu.
So then we get into the prologue for the film.
Yes.
Origins of Mewtwo or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is sort of starts out as a narration of an expedition into the jungle. The generic The Jungle.
Yeah, so a voiceover says, August 6th, and I want to interrupt already. Did Augustus Caesar exist in the Pokemon universe? We'll get a few shit like that in this that I'm gonna mention. but I do want to mention Augustus Caesar.
Mm-hmm. Horsebow Moon.
And the guy continues to narrate as we see some people trekking through the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Today, my colleagues will reach the site where an ancient civilization built a shrine to Mew, the most powerful Pokemon to have ever existed, now believed to be extinct. Giovanni is financing the expedition.
Again, just immediately like, oh, if you haven't watched the show or played the games, who the fuck is Giovanni?
Giovanni is definitely the villain.
Yeah, Giovanni is the villain. Giovanni is the leader of the larger Team Rocket organization.
Yes, of which our Team Rocket, the show's Team Rocket, is just 3 chuckle fucks.
Team Rocket being mafiosa / yakuza, depending on which version.
Yeah, depending on the localization. Also, we see a pink cat-like flying creature flying through the jungle while they're talking about Mew, the most powerful Pokemon. I wonder. Interesting.
That's interesting.
Also, most powerful Pokemon, definitely not true anymore, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it was even true at the time. I mean, I guess Mew would be stronger, would only be beaten out by Mewtwo.
Yeah. And the guy continues monologuing about stuff and mentions how Giovanni just wants to control the most powerful Pokemon in the world. But the scientist says, I, of course, want something more. Much more.
And do we see the scientist now?
I don't remember if we see him by this point, but it doesn't really matter. We can just describe him.
He's like...
He's the most standout sort of design of the characters, who we don't see their other faces very much anyway. He's got a sharp face. He's got a long nose. I think he's got a goatee or a mustache. I would describe
his face as like moon-shaped, but not in the way that like a person with a moon-shaped face looks in real life. Like from the profile, his face looks like a crescent moon.
He is moon-shaped in the way that Mac Tonight is moon-shaped.
Yes. And so we don't get his name.
Okay. That's right. I didn't even think about that.
This is Dr. Fuji.
Dr. Fuji.
Who is a minor character in the games,
really?
Who is only known as Mr. Fuji.
Okay.
In the games, he is a character you meet in Lavender Town.
Okay.
And he gives you the Poke-Flute.
Right, okay.
And it is implied, so in the Cinnabar gym, there is a photograph of Blaine and Mr. Fuji.
Okay, Blaine is...
Blaine again? The gym leader of Cinnabar.
Right.
That sort of implies, because the research lab that created Mewtwo in the games... is on Cinnabar Island.
Right.
And that photograph sort of implies that they both work together on Mewtwo.
Okay.
Which I think is what the movie is pulling from here in having Dr. Fuji.
There is no mention of Cinnabar whatsoever, I don't think.
No.
In
this lab
movie.
appears to just be...
in a new location in the movie continuity.
Dr. Fuji is voiced by Jay Goad.
Okay.
Who has one other role that we'll talk about in a second.
Oh.
But aside from that, has not been in anything since this movie.
Okay.
It's hard to find information on him, and I guess that's fair. Like, if he doesn't want people to find out about him, that's fine.
Yeah.
I saw some stuff indicating that maybe he's like a local theater performer now, or does art or something.
Cool.
His Japanese voice actor is Yosuke Akimoto, who is Rocksteady in the Japanese dub of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series.
Okay.
He's Dr. Cortex in the Japanese dub of Crash Bandicoot.
Okay, another mad scientist.
And Mr. Slate in the Japanese dub of The Flintstones.
Okay.
Who is Fred Flintstone's boss.
Okay. Sure.
But the narration continues.
Yes. As the narration is continuing, I didn't write down all of the narration verbatim.
That's fine.
But we see the crew, this crew of jungle exploring scientists, find the shrine and find an image of Mew, and they find a fossil. Which looks like a hair, maybe? Or like a feather? Or I don't know what it's supposed to... Or like a bone?
Yeah, it could be anything, I guess. Because, like, I don't know.
Mew doesn't have any of those things visible. It
might
probably
have
has bones.
hair.
It might have hair. It's hard to tell with this art style.
Yeah. I don't know if Mew appears in Detective Pikachu or not, so we could know for sure if it has horrible wet hair.
Mew looks to me like it would be like a Sphinx cat.
Yeah,
it would be hairless
I agree.
and very smooth.
Yeah.
But the scientist is hoping that this fossil will produce a Pokemon powerful enough to survive the cloning process. And says, perhaps then I can find the secret to restore life itself. And then we cut to a big machine.
Yeah.
That does stuff. We see it doing stuff.
You do see it doing stuff.
It's got the fossil in it, and it sequences the fossil. And, science.
Science stuff,
And after we see the machine do science shit, we see some darkness. And hear a voice saying, "Where am I? Who am I? What am I?" And we see a thing, a creature, in the classical sense.
Yeah.
It's like
this isn't a Muppet.
No, creature is a thing that is created.
Right. Sure.
That's why Frankenstein is
the creature.
Yeah. I love just you trying to get me to shut up there.
I wasn't
just
doing that.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that.
It's a cat thing. I don't know how to describe Mewtwo, honestly. I said we would describe the important Pokemon. I don't know how to describe Mewtwo.
It's a tall, humanoid, embryo cat man. He's smaller than he normally is here. Yes.
Because he's just been made. And then in the lab, we hear a deeply, profoundly fake Russian accent.
Is that what it is?
I think.
I thought maybe it was going for Spanish.
It's probably European.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Right.
In there.
It sure's doing something.
He says, it's just like all the other clones, Doctor. It hasn't gained consciousness.
Well, hold on, no, do the accent.
Okay. It's just like all the other clones, Doctor. It hasn't gained consciousness. He's very precise like that, too.
Yeah, he also is very precise.
The scientist, the main Fuji, Dr. Fuji, is upset at this. Because all its other life signs are fine, so it should be working. And we see back with Mewtwo, in Mewtwo's mind, that Mewtwo is having a crisis of what the fuck is happening?
What's going on, man?
And as Mewtwo is wondering what the voices of the scientists are, like who the fuck is that? A voice says that they're humans, and Mewtwo is like, who the shit? Who?
What?
Who? And we see appearing in Mewtwo's void is a small child.
A little girl.
A girl child who I'm pretty sure I had never seen this short because I did not remember this at all.
Yeah. It probably isn't included in television runs of the movie.
Right.
Either.
And she explains the basic concepts of what a person is.
And what a Pokemon is.
Yeah. And says that Mewtwo looks like a Pokemon. But the other people are people. And she's also a people.
She says that she is a girl.
Yes.
Specifically.
And Mewtwo says, Pokemon? Person? What are those? Which one am I? And I like that line a lot. I made sure to write that down because I was like, themes.
I should say now, Mewtwo is also like Dr. Fuji, voiced by Jay Goad.
Okay.
In English. In Japanese, he is voiced by Masachika Ichimura, who is Jack Skellington in Kingdom Hearts and the Japanese dub of A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
And Leon Brony, who appeared to be a recurring character in the Professor Layton games.
Leon what?
Brony?
How's that spelled?
Broney.
Okay, EY.
EY.
Thank Christ.
Who? That's all I got.
Okay. The little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she ever... I don't know if she says her name.
Oh no, she does, because she says that she is... Mewtwo is like, who are you? And the little girl is like, I'm Amber 2.
Yeah.
And you're Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
We're all 2 here.
Uh-huh.
Or something to that effect.
Yeah, she says, if you're in this place, I guess you must be the same as all of us are. And then we see some other Pokemon appear.
Yeah.
We see the starter Pokemon.
Yeah, Charmander, a Bulbasaur, and a Squirtle.
Yeah.
And all of the Pokemon besides Mewtwo have like markings that they don't usually have.
Yes.
Like the Charmander has stripes across its back.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bulbasaur has like dots that aren't usually on its face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Squirtle has
like
markings on its shell?
Yeah, like circles on its shell, and I think
Right.
maybe some markings on its face, too.
Right, okay. I don't know what that's supposed to indicate to us.
I guess that they're weird.
Yeah.
They're not the usual ones, because animals in this setting never have different markings.
Nope.
Except when they do.
Except when they're very specific animals.
Yes. Or if they're Sparky, the Pikachu that has... not different markings, but has a little tuft of hair.
Well, as of Let's Go Pikachu, all Pikachus can have hairstyle.
You know what? That's true. Amber explains that everyone here is a copy.
Mm-hmm.
And we also, as she's explaining shit to Mewtwo, we see the scientist man. I keep calling him that, because again, we don't learn his name in the actual prologue.
Right.
Dr. Fuji. And he's talking to himself. He's looking at the tubes. Because you gotta have clone tubes.
You gotta have clone tubes.
Where we see Mewtwo, the other cloned Pokemon, and a vague miasma that is apparently Amber 2.
Of light, yeah, I don't know why. I'm not sure why that's what Amber 2 is.
Yeah. But Dr. Fuji is saying, please let my theories be true. I must see my little girl smile again. And we get a flashback where we basically learn Amber is his daughter.
And she died.
Yes.
And he became obsessed with trying to clone her to bring her back.
And he managed to sort of not revive, but copy her consciousness.
And he became obsessed to the point where his wife left him.
There's a very good, there's a legitimate, extremely good bit of cinematography. I don't know if that's what it would be called in an animation, but...
Right.
Where we get, a close-up, when he's talking to his wife about trying to bring Amber back, we see him, sort of clutching his hands on his desk, and we get, a zoom in on his hand with the wedding ring on his finger. And then there's sort of a match cut that fades into another ring on a note that his wife has left to him, saying that she can't deal with this shit anymore. And that he needs to move on and accept that Amber is gone.
Yeah. And, that's a very tropey backstory to have.
Yes, absolutely.
But that's so dark for Pokemon.
It's very unusual, yeah.
A little girl died,
Uh-huh.
and her dad became so obsessed with bringing her back that his marriage completely fell apart.
Mm-hmm. And he does mention having Giovanni's backing at this point, I think, that Giovanni is going to finance his experiments.
Right, Giovanni is interested in creating, the strongest Pokemon ever, but Fuji is only using it as a means to figure out how to clone Amber.
Right. And I will point out, cloning does kind of already exist in this setting, for fossils even, specifically.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I believe that the events that we're seeing here are before, ostensibly before the events of the game.
Okay, right, I forgot, in the first games... Your fossil Pokemon that you get is the first one that's ever been cloned, right?
In the first games, anyway.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That still works. They were just building on Dr. Fuji's research.
Yeah, probably. Especially because the lab that does the fossil cloning is on Cinnabar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we unflashback, and we see that same sort of suburban neighborhood in the flashback that Amber 2, Mewtwo, and the clone Pokemon are flying over. Because they can all fly, because they're in their mind.
They're just in a dream.
She explains that this is her remember place.
Which is a phrasing that I really genuinely love. Like, yeah, that's how a little kid would talk about something like this.
Yes. And she explains the concept of the sun and outside and the sunset, which is when the sun says goodnight. And Mewtwo is like, is that a sun? And she's like, no, that's the moon.
And the dots in the sky are the stars.
Yeah, which she says that they're the lights in the sky that are there to keep us from getting lonely.
Yeah.
And then you wanted to talk about dark, weirdly dark for Pokemon. The Charmander starts to fade away.
Yeah.
Charmander 2 starts fading away and vanishes. And then we cut to the lab and we see that Charmander 2's life signs are just gone. Just kaput.
And I think all the researchers are panicking.
Yes. And Mewtwo is also upset in the remember place. And then the other Pokemon start to fade. And I'm pretty sure I'm crying at this point.
That's fair.
What we'll learn from this episode is that I am very easy to manipulate with Pokemon emotions.
Okay, that's valid. I don't think I cried at this movie, but there were a few moments that might have got me.
So
actually, I think I might have cried at the ending of the Pikachu's Vacation short for some fucking reason.
Really?
Just seeing Pikachu be like, "Hey, fun adventure," made me cry. I don't know why.
That's also valid.
Yeah.
So so back to these Pokemon dying on screen.
Yeah. They're all starting to fade. And Mewtwo is very upset.
And Amber's
not being much help to him.
No, she is also starting to fade. And there's a great sequence of lines here where Amber says to Mewtwo, "I have to go." And Mewtwo says, "Why?" And Amber says, "I don't know, but it's okay." And that kind of hit me really hard too.
And I think Mewtwo starts crying at this point, and it's like, what is happening? I don't understand.
He's like, I feel, or they're like,
oh yes, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think I've used the wrong pronouns for Mewtwo a few times, and should do better.
To be clear, also, Mewtwo is voiced by a man.
Yeah, I think in every incarnation or anything where Mewtwo has a voice, they're voiced by a man.
I think their Mega Evolution might be voiced by a woman.
Possibly.
Later.
I think in Detective Pikachu, the film, they're voiced by a man and a woman simultaneously.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is pretty cool because Mewtwo and most legendary Pokemon is not gender.
Yeah, canonically.
Most Pokemon have a gender and can appear as either male or female because the binary is in full effect for them.
Yes.
But legendary Pokemon tend to not have genders at all.
Yes. And also Mewtwo is intelligent, so...
Right.
I mean, okay, we'll get to this. All the Pokemon are intelligent.
I mean, we already kind of saw that in the short.
We saw that in the short.
Yeah. They were just acting like people.
They were acting like people.
They were acting like kids.
The Pokedex at one point literally translates Pikachu's dialogue. Anyway, death.
Death.
Yeah, Amber explains...
Death comes to the remember place.
Amber explains that Mewtwo is feeling sad, and that those are tears, and mentions that her father told her about an old story where Pokemon's tears were said to be able to heal people and bring people back to life and things like that.
Keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. Stow that away. Just
store that.
put a pin in it. And Amber tells Mewtwo not to be sad because you're alive and life is wonderful. And we see the moon fade away, and then the sky also fade away, and then the entire Remember place just turns back into a void.
Mewtwo is just in darkness alone again. And I think we cut back out to the lab, and the researchers are just dejectedly inform Dr. Fuji that all the clones except for Mewtwo are gone.
And he is not happy with that.
No.
We don't get much of his reaction
No.
before we cut back to Mewtwo, because Mewtwo is very much the main character here.
Yeah,
And they are having a crisis. And Mewtwo says, "What use are these tears anyway?" And continues having a crisis. Again, has monologue stuff, but I didn't write down everything except what I thought was most important. And says, "Life is wonderful, but why?" And then we
cut back out to the lab where the researchers are monitoring Mewtwo and are noting, like, hey, they're starting to freak out. We cannot let this happen. We need to wipe their memory. And they do that. And it sucks.
But it's clear that there's still something.
There's still an echo.
Yeah.
And that's where the short ends, basically. And then the movie itself begins with a monologue from Mewtwo.
Is it from Mewtwo? I didn't even realize.
Is it not? I don't.
It was a voice. It's a disembodied voice, and we don't see Mewtwo in the sequence. I don't think, but
I'm pretty sure it's Mewtwo. I don't think it's the.
It's definitely not the usual sort of Pokemon narrator.
A great adventure is about to begin.
No, because it's very not like that. Whoever it is, if it is Mewtwo, says, "Life, the great miracle and the great mystery. Since the beginning, humans and Pokemon alike have searched for its meaning. Many strange and wondrous legends evolved from the pursuit of life's mysteries, but none is stranger than this tale of the most powerful Pokemon of all."
Oh, I guess that... Yeah, I forgot what this narration was.
I think it's just a third narrator. I mean, not third, because Mewtwo wouldn't be the second then.
I guess it's a second narrator.
A secondary narrator.
Or maybe it's just the normal narrator.
But putting on a different voice?
Maybe, I don't know.
Also, I do like the many strange and wondrous legends evolved from the pursuit of... Because it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Then we do definitely get Mewtwo's voice, though. We see this monologue happens over, like, it's not important. It's like some landscapes.
Right, yeah.
Mew is flying over them. We'll see a lot of Mew continuously, so that's not even that important to mention. And I think we see Mewtwo.
Yeah.
We see Mewtwo
floating in the void.
Yes. Mewtwo has grown. Is no longer tiny.
Yeah, is what Mewtwo looks like now.
Yes. And they say, "I am ready to be," which is a very good line.
Yeah.
And then we see the lab, and the scientists are talking about Mewtwo. Mewtwo still not gained consciousness after all this time. It's not clear how many years exactly have passed.
Yeah. It's still the same research team, and it seems. We see Dr. Fuji again.
And we see Mewtwo's, I think their life signs are going weird. Their mental signs. What's that called? Their mental state. The study of the
psychology.
No, when you have
cerebral.
Their thought forms, thought patterns.
Charge brain.
You are the opposite of helpful.
Big head. Powerful mind.
No! That's nothing.
Cerebellum.
No! Anyway,
lymph nodes.
Their thoughts are going weird. And we see that on a graph. And the scientists are like, "Oh, shit." And I think that's at the point at which they realize that Mewtwo is regaining consciousness. And they're like, oh shit, How the fuck? What the fuck? It's happening. And then Mewtwo opens their eyes in their tube and shatters the glass around them, which seems like it would be that seems like the clone equivalent of like ripping out an IV.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't seem like a good plan.
No.
But also, I don't know if Mewtwo can plan right now.
Yeah.
They just woke up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to Mewtwo until they've had their coffee. And Mewtwo says, again, like Mewtwo never opens their mouth to talk.
Right.
They
They
just,
seem to speak entirely telepathically.
yeah.
I believe actually, like, Dr. Fuji steps forward and is like, hold on, quiet. Let us witness its psychic power. And then
Yes.
Mewtwo speaks.
Mewtwo says, where am I? This is not the same. Was everything before just a dream? Why? I like that trailing off why also. Just very confused. And the scientist is like, hey, we made you. We made you out of Mew. We cloned Mew. And you're you.
Yep.
You're Mewtwo. You're Mewtwo. You're Mewtwo. Mew2!
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then the scientist just punches the ground.
I don't think that's what happened at that
Wait,
that
is
E3.
it not? No, he says Peggle 2, and then he like leaps up and punches the ground.
No!
Yeah.
He punches the air.
Does he?
He doesn't do a fucking he doesn't do a fucking Iron Man 3-point landing on stage.
He punches downwards at least, right?
I don't think he does.
Okay.
He may punch forward.
Mm.
And then the momentum would carry his hand downward. Mewtwo Strikes Back, the film. We're about to get to the part where Mewtwo strikes back.
Pokemon the movie 1999.
Is it 1999?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
It came out in 1998 in Japan and 1999 in English.
Okay. So the scientists are very happy with themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they start congratulating each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Mewtwo is just like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
And there's a very good shot of like a zoom in on two of the scientists like shaking hands,
Mm-hmm.
and then a zoom in on Mewtwo's weird bubble hands just clenching. Because again, Pokemon, person,
Mm-hmm.
which are they?
Which are they?
And Mewtwo says, "Is that my purpose? Am I just an experiment? A laboratory specimen? This cannot be my destiny!" And Mewtwo is very upset. And does some shit.
They basically demolish the lab around them. And
It's
think
probably implied does some murder.
implied kills the scientists, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly Dr. Fuji escapes?
Yeah, it's not entirely clear.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Which is also like based on like the lab that created Mewtwo in the games is destroyed and abandoned.
Right. It's a very extended sequence of Mewtwo destroying the lab, but we're kind of there's not much more to say than Mewtwo destroys the lab. The destroyed lab, which appears to be on like an island.
Yes.
Earlier, someone did mention to call Giovanni's helicopter.
Yes.
And that gets unforeshadowed. Nope, that's not the word. Shadowed, because if it's foreshadowing,
What are you trying to say?
it gets manifest. It manifests in the form of Giovanni's helicopter is here now on the island.
Okay.
And Giovanni is here. Giovanni is a big man in a brown suit.
Yeah, I think it's a I guess it is a brown suit in the anime.
Yeah, it's definitely like a black suit in the games, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, Giovanni's here now. His helicopter lands, and he just starts chatting up Mewtwo. I forget what exactly he says, but he does at one point refer to the scientists as those fools, which tells you he's a villain.
Yeah. He basically is like, hey, Mewtwo, hit me up.
Yeah. He's like, you could be... They saw you as an experiment rather than a valuable partner.
And Giovanni says that he knows how to get Mewtwo to their true destiny.
And Mewtwo is willing to hear this out.
Uh-huh.
And is like, show me.
And we cut to a sort of montage of Mewtwo.
Yeah, well, first we see Mewtwo getting armored up.
Right. Mewtwo is equipped with a suit of armor.
Yes. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's a very cool suit of armor that does not appear again after this sequence.
No.
Giovanni
explains that it's for focusing Mewtwo's powers.
Uh-huh. And Mewtwo is like, I don't know about this armor, but Giovanni's like, no, it's fine. And then...
He says, there's a sequence of lines here I want to read verbatim.
Sure.
Giovanni says, learn to use them referring to his powers.
Right.
Learn to use them to accomplish your purpose. And Mewtwo asks, what is that? And Giovanni says, patience, my friend. Your purpose will become clear. And then we see Giovanni has a stadium.
Yeah, Giovanni has a Pokemon gym.
Yes.
Which is only really obvious if you've played the games.
Yeah.
That this is the Viridian City Pokemon gym. I think it might show up. It might be made clear in the show itself that Giovanni is a gym leader and is the leader of the Viridian City Pokemon gym.
Mm-hmm. I want them to do that again.
Yeah.
Just have, some of the villains are, gym leaders and shit like that. How cool would it be if a Pokemon game came out and, the main villain was the professor?
God, that'd be so cool.
Especially if it was, a twist.
I think the closest they've come to that, to go on a tangent, the closest they've come to that since is, you don't fight the champion in Pokemon Black and White the first time you beat the Elite Four.
Really?
The villain, quote unquote, interrupts you.
Okay.
And you fight him instead. But yeah, Mewtwo, we see a montage of Mewtwo basically just demolishing challengers at the gym. One of which I think is Gary Oak.
Yes, I was going to mention. It looks like Gary Oak's hair, right?
Mm-hmm. Gary Oak, Ash's rival.
Yes, in the first season anyway.
Yeah.
We see a great scene of, there's a herd of Tauros.
Yeah.
Which are bull Pokemon. And Mewtwo just levitates all of them into the air, and just a small army of Team Rocket folks just throw Pokeballs at them to catch them. Which I don't think that works by the way Pokemon catching sort of works in the games.
Well, And then the montage just, ends.
Yeah. And Mewtwo is still like, hey, I still don't get it. They say, they're sort of talking to themselves while they're standing in the thing where the armor is kept. They're standing in the armor in that thing. I don't know if Mewtwo sleeps. This might just be Mewtwo's recharge period.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking to themselves, saying, now I fully perceive my power, but what is my purpose? And Giovanni just walks in and is like, to serve your master. You were created to fight for me. That is your purpose. And Mewtwo is not having that shit.
No.
And says, that cannot be. You said we were partners. We stood as equals. And Giovanni says, you were created by humans to obey humans. You could never be our equal. So Giovanni just continually being a shit here. And Mewtwo, not a fan.
No.
Sort of changes their tune on Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
And destroys their armor. Sort of bit by bit. And says, humans may have created me, but they will never enslave me. This cannot be my destiny. Hey, Mewtwo's really fucking cool in these scenes also.
And they just do the thing they do.
Yeah, which is destroy bases. Presumably Giovanni not dead, because, unless this part takes place after the show,
I don't
which
think
would be weird.
Does. I think Giovanni reappears later in the show.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, because this was, mid-quel.
Right.
Well, kind of. You know what I mean.
Well, also reappears in Johto.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, duh. Because I think he shows back up in those games.
He doesn't.
He doesn't? Okay,
No.
never mind. I'm dumb.
Sorry. Team Rocket's whole plan in the Johto games is like, fucking Giovanni left. What do we gotta find him. Where the fuck did he go? Giovanni! And they never find him.
But yeah, Mewtwo destroys Giovanni's gym and rockets off into the sky. And we see them return to the island where the wreckage of the science lab is. Again, we don't usually go like too in detail on movie scenes and stuff. I do want to read this verbatim, just because Mewtwo's quotes are all very good. Mewtwo stands amidst the wreckage and says, "I will find my own purpose and purge this planet of all who oppose me, human and Pokemon alike. The world will heed my warning. The reign of Mewtwo will soon begin." And then, dun 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 dun. No, I can't do it. It's like dun 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 dun.
Yep, that's it.
It's a Pokemon.
It's Pokemon.
It's the song.
Pokemon, the first movie.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, this song is older than this.
No, but the title comes up.
The title comes up, yes. And then, so now the movie can truly begin. Which also means we get the narrator. We see our heroes. At the aforementioned Ash, Misty, and Brock.
Yeah.
And also, I think Togepi is out.
Yeah.
And also, of course, Pikachu. Pikachu's always out. Gay
and
icon.
To describe them real quick.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Ash is a boy.
Yes.
He's got like spiky black hair. He wears a baseball cap and like a vest. Misty is the girl one.
Yeah.
She's got like orange hair in a side ponytail. She's wearing a weird like crop top plus suspenders plus jean shorts look.
It's very good, I would say.
It's good, yeah. It's also not anything that she ever wears in the games except Pokemon Yellow, which is explicitly based on the anime.
Right.
And then there's Brock.
He's a taller, darker skinned guy. He never fully opens his eyes. I think.
I still, to this day, don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, I think it's just a stylistic thing.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just like a...
They're all Japanese.
Yeah, it's not supposed to designate monolithedness, I don't think.
Okay. He's got like spiky brown hair.
Yeah.
He also wears a vest, I think.
Yeah, but it's a green vest. Does he look... He looks like basically what he does in the games, right?
In the games, I don't think he has the vest.
Okay.
But aside from that, he's mostly the same.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, the narrator, the very bombastic narrator, is like, the adventure and shit, you know?
Verbatim what he says.
I didn't write down his intro. He does say that our heroes, particularly Ash Ketchum, is going to face the day with strength, stamina, and a will of steel. And then we see Ash, who is just sort of slumped over a picnic table, and just goes, hungry. Which mood?
Ash is voiced by Veronica Taylor.
Yeah. Veronica
Taylor, who also in the show voices Ash's mom. And May, who is a main character in a later season.
Yeah. I didn't know they were both voiced by the same person.
And voices April O'Neil in various Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff.
Okay.
Chimeria Raven in Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Okay.
And Manuela Casagrande in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Just the most different character from any character she plays on Pokemon. The most different voice from Ash, also.
Yeah, Ash's Japanese voice actress is Rika Matsumoto, who is Megara in Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Not in the Japanese dub of Hercules, though, I think.
Okay.
I could have just missed that. Ryo Bakura in Yu-Gi-Oh! And so, a character in the anime Stitch.
Oh.
Named Tiger Lily.
Okay.
I don't know if that's...
Bad?
Bad. Probably is, though.
Might be.
Probably is.
A lot of Disney, well, at least 2 Disney things.
Yeah, and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. Is that a Disney product, or
No.
were you just saying and
I
Yu-Gi-Oh?
was just saying and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
Like, and Disney things and Yu-Gi-Oh.
But yeah, Ash is hunger,
Mm-hmm.
and Misty is like, you're always hungry. And Brock is already cooking, because that's his thing, part of his thing.
Did you write down what Brock says he's cooking?
Yes, I did. He says Ash will be excited about this, because he's cooking his lazy boy no chew stew, which I believe could also be termed a soup.
Yeah.
I think that's what a soup is.
I think that might be what a soup is. Misty.
Uh-huh.
We're introduced to all 3 of them all at once, so
Yes.
there's going to be a lot of voice actors immediately
Yes,
up front. Misty is voiced by Rachel Lillis,
Uh-huh.
who is... doesn't have a lot of big roles and stuff.
Okay.
She is, though,
Huh?
Utena Tenjo
Oh!
in Revolutionary Girl Utena. Her Japanese voice actress is Mayumi Izuka,
Mhm.
who, again, could not find a ton of stuff I recognized, but is Tronbon in the Mega Man series.
Okay. I have no idea who that is, but
She's very cool, and she has a game.
probably
that's
a robot.
about her. And Brock is voiced by Eric Stewart, who is Seto Kaiba in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay, another Yu-Gi-Oh!
And Meta Knight.
Oh!
Specifically in Kirby Right Back At Ya, the Kirby anime.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Where-
a couple...
Where Meta Knight has a bad Spanish accent?
Is that what he...
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, they decided to give him a
Eric
Spanish
Stewart
accent.
does like doing bad accents, as we'll learn shortly. And his Japanese voice actor is Yuji Ueda, who is Blanca and Balrog. I think only in Capcom vs. SNK.
Oh, okay.
And Osmosis Jones in the Japanese dub of Ozzy and Drix.
All
Not
right.
the film.
Not the film,
Just
the
the
show.
TV series.
The show Ozzy and Drix, right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I mean, good.
Yeah.
And then a strange pirate man.
A member of Team Aqua.
Wait, is he?
No, 'cause
Okay.
Team Aqua didn't exist yet.
Oh yeah,
But
huh.
his bandana has the Team Aqua symbol on it.
Yeah, but it's red
But it's red.
instead of blue.
Uh-huh.
Weird.
Yeah. It's very weird.
He looks like a pirate.
He
though.
looks like a pirate.
And he comes up and he's like, "Hey, you Ash Ketchum?"
We should mention also that they're just hanging out on the Windows XP screen.
Yes.
Default
Yeah, they're on
desktop.
like a coastline somewhere.
On like a very grassy coastline.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
At a picnic table.
Mm-hmm.
And
And this guy just comes up.
comes up to them and is like, "Hey, you Ash Ketchum?" And Ash is like, "Yeah." And
Mhm.
he's like, "Fucking battle me." And Ash is like, "Hell yeah." And just goes from 0 to 60 real fast, just jets up from the table. And Misty is like, "Didn't you just say you were like starving to death?"
Ash is like never too tired to battle.
Uh-huh. Misty is kind of like, Ash is the protagonist,
Mhm.
the wild one.
Mm-hmm.
Misty is sort of the straight man of the
Uh-huh.
crew, and Brock gets all this funny, snarky lines
Uh-huh.
because he also gets here. That's progress. At least his mouth is working. And then,
But all of Brock's lines are delivered in a way where
it's like the same voice. Like
Yeah.
he's very monotone, except he doesn't. Not in a way that's like what you usually think of like with monotone as like very
Right.
dull and
he
sort of
always
just like
sounds
this.
peppy, no
Yeah.
matter what he's saying.
He's always the exact same level of peppy. And then we get a remix of the main theme.
Yeah,
For this season.
the anime opening,
Yeah.
not the main theme of Pokemon.
Yeah. Which was that was the dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
This is the one that's like, "I wanna be the very best," etc.
Like no one
Never
ever
was.
Yeah. Pokemon Johto.
I can't do the first. I can't do the first note of that one because it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just a fucking
Uh-huh.
sick guitar riff.
It's
It's the most like 90s anime like
90s
American
anime
dub.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just like a battle between Ash and this pirate,
Yeah.
set to that song.
The pirate has a Dawn fan, also.
Oh yeah, right. Which I think is also like the first time we see a Dawn fan in anything.
It's not comment on it at all.
No, he's just there.
People would have just seen this movie and been like, "What the fuck was that?
That's not. I don't know what that is.
That's not one of them. What's that small tire-shaped elephant?"
Mm-hmm. He also, fucking Ash beats him by having Pikachu use Thunderbolt
Okay.
on a golem, and that's not how Pokemon works. Ground cannot be affected by electricity.
True. Although, also, to be
fair,
that guy at one point sends out 3 Pokemon at once to fight Ash, and then that's cheating already. But then Ash is like, I'm going to fight them all with 1 Pokemon, which is a power move, but also, nonsense. Just nothing. This is a very unregulation battle.
Well, he is a pirate.
He is a pirate. He's a pirate, and Ash is clearly hacking his Pikachu.
We also hear Pikachu's voice.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna like mention every Pokemon's voice actor. No disrespect to those voice actors, because I think they do a good job.
Yes.
But there are just a lot of Pokemon.
I will say there's a lot of very good Pikachu delivery in the short and this.
Pikachu is very important, which is why. So Pikachu is voiced by Ikue Otani. Same voice actor in Japanese and English.
Right. Okay.
They don't
really have to dub it.
They don't dub Pikachu, who is mostly just Pikachu in fucking everything, even in the games now.
Yeah.
He's also though Tony Bleh from One Piece, the deer boy.
Tony Bleh?
The boy with the deer antlers.
I feel like we've said this character's name
before.
before.
I didn't write down his full name because I didn't want to say it because it's a stupid name.
Okay.
But yeah, that's Pikachu.
Again, like, very impressive voice acting for a character who can only say variations on the word Pikachu. Like, she's very good at selling that. And like getting all of the necessary emotions across. There was a specific thing in the short I wanted to mention.
Okay.
There's a bit where Pikachu thinks Togepi has gotten flung off a log into the sky, and Pikachu says very concernedly, "Pee pee pee," and it's so clearly saying Togepi, which is so good.
That's good. That's great. But the battle is over.
Yeah.
Ash has won by breaking the laws of physics.
That's the thing that happens multiple times in the anime, too.
I know. There's at least an explanation when he does it to fight Brock, though.
Is there?
Yeah. He gets them wet, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think.
That kind of makes sense.
Remembering wrong, though. Still.
Ash invented Douse, the move that makes the opponent Pokemon water type. We also see this whole affair is being recorded.
Right.
And we see Misty and Brock also comment on the fight after it's done. Well, first of all, Pirate Guy goes, "Oh no!" Which it's so good. And then Misty and Brock comment on the fight, and Misty says, "Well, that sure was a shocking ending." And which is a bad pun. And then Brock says, "Shocking that Ash moves so fast," which is a little better. And we do see that this is being recorded by a Firo in the sky. We see that there's a Firo with like a necklace camera. Someone has refitted this Firo into being a surveillance drone. And then we see that someone else has also been watching this, unrelated to that Firo.
Yeah. We see on a hill, on a cliff overlooking the field where that battle was taking place. 3 people.
Yes.
We see...
Well, 3 people and 1 Pokemon.
Pokemon are people.
Pokemon are people. That was purely referencing the prologue there.
Team Rocket's here.
Yeah.
Jesse, James, and Meow. Jesse, who is a woman with, like, weirdly scythe-shaped
hair.
Red hair. Reddish pink hair.
Yeah.
who's wearing like a crop top Team Rocket uniform.
Yes. None of them... They don't actually wear, like, the traditional Team Rocket uniform. They wear, like, a white version of it instead of black.
And James, who is a man with, like, bobbed blue hair.
Yes, he's got the bisexual bob, and it shows in everything about him also.
And who's just, like, kind of wearing a jacket. Although his jacket is, like, shorter than it has to be.
Yeah,
And Meowth, who's a cat with the money on its forehead.
With the money on its forehead.
With the money on his forehead.
Just in case you were worried about the bad pun stopping, after the bad pun we got, James comments, "That's another credit on Pikachu's charge account."
So James...
James impression is going to just also sound like Taco again, for the record.
James is voiced by Eric Stewart, who voices Brock.
Okay.
He was also in Japanese voiced by Shinichiro Miki.
Okay.
Who is Sagat. Again, I think only in the Capcom vs. SNK games.
Okay.
And who is Charizard.
In this.
This.
Okay.
And in Smash Brothers.
Oh, okay. Presumably not dubbed over.
Charizard is never dubbed, I believe.
Okay. I mean, they wouldn't really need to. He doesn't even say Charizard. Yeah. He just goes,
whoa. And Jessie is Rachel Willis. Who
Oh, I wish Meowth's voice actor is very good. I wish Meowth was voiced by the same voice actor as Ash.
And Megumi Hashihara in Japanese.
For Jessie.
For Jessie, yeah. Who voices Faye Valentine in Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Rei Ayanami in Neon Genesis Evangelion. And Lena Inverse in Slayers.
I don't know what that one is.
It's a fantasy show that exists.
Okay. We gotta watch Cowboy Bebop at some point, right?
Absolutely do. Meowth is...
Meowth, that's right.
Meowth is voiced by Maddie Blaustein. Who is E123 Omega in the Sonic series. Is voiced by the unfortunately late Maddie Blaustein. Who was Omega in the Sonic series, has since been replaced. And Solomon Mewtwo in Yu-Gi-Oh! He's Yugi's grandpa.
Okay.
Is also like, I don't know how comfortable I am actually talking about this, but I feel like it's important to note, is like, and what was an advocate for intersex rights, because
really,
she was an intersex woman, an intersex trans woman. She was assigned male at birth, and she did intersex advocacy on Second Life.
Really?
Yeah, it's very cool. She's a very cool person.
That I was not expecting Meowth's voice actress to be so interesting.
Yeah. She also voices the pirate guy. Meowth's Japanese voice actress is Inoko Inuyama. Just
Nothing
Meowth.
Else? Just Meowth.
Just Meowth.
Okay.
Anyway, Team Rocket are spying.
Yeah. Jessie is like, gotta get the Pikachu. Y'all.
If you haven't watched the anime, they want to get Pikachu.
Yes, because Pikachu is really strong. While we're making this as inaccessible as possible to anybody who hasn't played the games, you might say Pikachu is in, like, the top percentile of Pikachus.
God damn it. Okay. Ash's Pikachu is in the top percent of Pikachus.
Yeah. Shorts. How many other just references
They're comfy and easy to wear.
To other, technology is amazing.
Welcome to the world of Pokemon. In this world, we live alongside Pokemon as allies and equals.
Anyway.
I'm called the Pokemon Professor.
Shit, that should have been our intro.
Ah, damn it.
Now we have to leave that in. And the Team Rocket's just chatting about, hey, get the Pikachu, but also hungry.
Yeah,
They see them eating something that does not look no chew, for the record.
Yeah.
Brock.
Well,
but also, considering Brock also thinks that onigiri are jelly donuts, that might just, might be a dub thing.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Or in universe, Brock doesn't know what foods are.
Yeah. if it's potatoes, you can kind of, like, just absorb those.
That's true. What a sentence. And Jesse offers to cook, and pulls out a pan from nowhere, because the Team Rocket are very Looney Tunes. And Meowth says, "Thanks, but the last time you cooked, you knocked out 8 of my 9 lives."
Yep.
And also, what I love about that is, I would think Jessie would normally get mad at that, but she doesn't. She's just like, you're right. And they're just all sad. I think that's why they're the best, is they feel they appeal to millennial culture, because they're poor and can't eat.
I've been reading I follow someone who's been doing a Pokemon live blog of, like, all the Pokemon shows.
Oh, really?
And they refer to Team Rocket as the crime interns.
Holy shit.
Go look up at Jose Next Door if you want to see that.
But yeah, then we see that Fiero again. And we see where the camera feed is going. And we see, like, a base somewhere.
Yeah, we see, like, a windmill on an island.
Yeah. And it's like, we see the inside of a building with a big window where we see a windmill outside of it, I think. And there's a big chair where the villain sits. Because it's a villain chair.
It is a villain chair.
And a woman in a long sort of, like, dress.
Yeah. Dressed as a cleric.
Dressed as a cleric, yes. Is a real Fire Emblem looking motherfucker. Says, "Master, shall I extend an invitation to these trainers as well?" And there is no response. And then the lady is like, "Okay,
yep,
will do," and walks off. And then we see a delivery Dragonite emerge from the windmill, or a windmill. Just a Dragonite, which I love Dragonite so much.
It's really good.
It's just a big teddy bear of a dragon. And then the Dragonite flies over the sea, zooms past Team Rocket, and zooms past the kids, and finds Ash, and is like, "Here," just hands, just wordlessly, because it's a dragon, it can't talk. Wordlessly hands a sort of an envelope, I think, to Ash, which he opens. And inside there's like a card, but it's a tech card. It's a Magitech card that produces a little mini hologram of that lady we saw before. And Brock says, "She's really small, but really pretty." Part of Brock's characterization is being a perv.
It's like,
but he's kind of chaste about it a lot.
He's a very chaste perv, which makes him more tolerable.
Okay.
But yes, he's very into girls.
It gets bad sometimes in the anime.
It does get bad sometimes in the anime.
I think here it's
fine,
all right
mostly.
It's a plot point, weirdly.
Oh right.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, it's unobtrusive.
Yeah. And
the nun lady is like, my master, the world's greatest Pokemon trainer, and wants to hang out with you on his island, at his palace on New Island.
Yep.
Which is a hell of a name for a location in an existing story that you made up when you adapted the story. And then there's also a little yes or no card on the you have to RSVP.
Nash is like, hell yeah, I want to go.
Yeah, he's like, "I guess the world's most powerful trainer wants to challenge me to a match, and you are the most gullible fucking person."
He's a 10-year-old boy.
I don't know how old I feel like Misty or Brock should have been like, "Now that's weird."
They are, though, aren't they? Aren't they both like, "Hey, this seems like a bad idea," and Ash is just like, "No, gotta do it."
I think they do think it's a bad idea later.
Okay.
For a different reason, though, other than, this is susp. But yeah, so they're heading off. They're going to, they're gonna catch a ferry. And we see again that the master's room in the windmill place at his palace on New Island. And we see in his chair, I say his, but their hand appears. And it's a very lumpy bubble hand that we've seen before. You might recognize this bubble hand. It's Mewtwo. Mewtwo. I legitimately didn't expect that because I didn't remember this plot.
Really?
I didn't remember how this plot goes.
You didn't expect the villain to be Mewtwo.
I mean, I knew Mewtwo was the villain. I didn't know. I was like, okay, who's this master? Is this Giovanni? Does he have Mewtwo somewhere?
Sure. Did Giovanni recapture Mewtwo somehow?
But no, it's Mewtwo. I just love... Mewtwo is a Pokemon, and they've got a palace now.
Yeah, well, they built it. And they have this...
I guess they do technically call Mewtwo he.
Do they?
'Cause, I mean, like, at his palace. But also that could be part of the ruse.
Yeah.
Also, like, who knows how commonly used singular they them pronouns for dissuading people from knowing the gender of a character was in anime at that time.
Right.
My favorite thing is in modern shows when they do that shit to surprise you about the character's gender, but it's from characters who should absolutely know that character's gender.
Meowth's Japanese voice actress is Inuko Inuyama, who's Meowth in a lot of stuff, and also was 13 in My Hero Academia.
Oh, cool.
And as the Dragonite is trying to leave, Team Rocket just step in front of it and are like, hold on, no. What the fuck's up with those twerks? And they see the invitation to New Island, setting up that they're gonna get involved in this plot.
And Mewtwo sort of moves their hand in a circle and just does that some more. And then we cut to what seems like the bottom of a body of water, and we see Mew.
Yeah.
Mew is in a bubble under a river, and rises, like, seems to detect something. Something feels a disturbance in the Mew Force.
Mew Force is my favorite Mewtwo and Mew fighting game.
Mew Force is my favorite guinea pig-based action comedy movie.
Mew is another Pokemon that is not dubbed.
Okay.
It's voiced by Koichi Yamadera, who is the genie in the Japanese dub of Aladdin.
Okay.
Beast in the Japanese dub of Beauty and the Beast. M. Bison.
Wait!
In, I believe also, again, only in Capcom versus SNK. And Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop.
So, Mew?
Mew, for the record, is like, Mew. That's what they sound like.
Unless some of those characters sound very different in Japanese.
Nope. I can assure you, nope.
Mew's got some range. But yeah, Mew is also a they.
Yeah, because it's a legendary Pokemon.
They feel a disturbance in the Force and are like, gotta fly somewhere now, and then we'll see them again later.
Yeah.
But now back to Mewtwo twirling they hand. We see a storm forming as Mewtwo twirls they hand.
We see, like, basically a typhoon.
Yes. And it's very cool. It's like a prolonged sequence of using psychic powers to make a storm, and it's a good way to set, like, hey, Mewtwo, powerful.
Really strong.
Can't do that in the games, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
It'd be cool if they gave Mewtwo, like, after the movie, they made it in future games where Mewtwo can learn, like, Rainstorm or, like, Rain Dance or whatever it was.
Or Hurricane.
Hurricane, yeah.
Which I believe is that move might have been added in, like, Gen 5 or something, but
okay.
Still.
And we see the fairy place. Fairy, like Ferry,
right?
Like, with a big boat.
Fairy type Pokemon don't exist yet.
Yeah, and some of the Pokemon. There's a bunch of people in this fairy building. It's not the fairy because the fairy is not going. But there's a bunch of people and their Pokemon are freaking out. We see Ash and he friends coming. They coming through the rain.
Yeah.
Just running in, and many of these people seem to have been invited also. To New Island.
It seems like most of the people in this ferry terminal were invited to New Island.
And people are like, hey, where's the ferry going? We gotta get on the ferry.
Yeah, we gotta go fight this master.
And Officer Jenny is here. That's a kind of recurring character on the show.
In the anime, yeah. Not based on a character from the games.
Not based on the... Okay, so there... I do want to talk about that.
Okay.
Because it's funny to me. Nurse Joy.
Right.
Is a character that is based on the games. Because in the games, every nurse in every Pokemon Center has the same sprite.
Right, because it's a Game Boy game.
Right,
and you have to reuse assets.
And the game was already packed with so much shit.
Yeah.
So in the anime, they make a gag out of that.
Yeah.
Like it's still like Nurse Joy. They're all called Nurse Joy, and they all look pretty much identical. And they all work at different Pokemon centers.
Yeah.
And they make
most of them work at Pokemon centers.
Yes.
There are some exceptions that show up.
Right. They make a thing out of it because it's like they're related. They're like all sisters
or something.
They're
all sisters or cousins, yeah.
And so they make a gag out of it. But they make another character. They make a new original character based on that same gag that didn't appear as a character that was like reused sprites in a game.
No.
In the form of Officer Jenny.
Yeah, who's a cop lady. And there are just a billion. There are just a billion of her. And they're all cousins or sisters or something.
And that's incredibly funny to me.
Officer Jenny does appear in Pokemon Yellow because that game is based off the anime. And there are multiple Officer Jennys who show up. But outside of that, has not appeared in the games, is exclusive to the anime.
Just so funny to me.
And she and, like, the fairy director.
The fairy director, who has such a distinct design that I was like, is this a character I should know?
But no.
No? Jenny is like, nah, the storm, bad. It's one of the worst, it's the worst storm ever. Really, Officer Jenny?
I mean, we learn later that it is.
I guess that's true.
It's the worst storm ever,
It just doesn't look that bad.
It doesn't look that bad.
I live in fucking hurricane country.
Yeah,
like
we've lived through a very bad storm. This one doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
But fairy not running.
Fairy not running. The lady. Okay, I did write down a lot of her lines verbatim. The fairy lady.
Okay. She does have an accent.
She has an accent, and I also don't know where to put it. It's an accent. I'm not gonna try to replicate it.
That's fair.
Because this one feels like it might be more racist.
Okay.
But this fairy director lady, the lady who directs the fairies, she says, the prophets have predicted the return of the winds of water. For years I have prayed that mankind would never witness that deadly storm ever again. The ancient writings tell of the storm wiping out all but a few Pokemon. In their sorrow, the water of their tears somehow restored the lives lost in the storm. Put a pin in that.
Oh.
But hang on. But there are no Pokemon tears today. just water that nobody can survive.
God.
She sounds like she's a fucking oracle who's been put through Google Translate a couple times.
I will also say, though, that your performance of those lines is a lot more intense than hers is.
But I feel like the content deserves it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Officer Jenny is like, yep, so no one can go out. And she's like, we wanted to set up a shelter in the Pokemon Center, but
it's closed down.
It's closed down because our nurse is missing.
Yeah.
And Brock goes over to the missing poster of
Nurse Joy.
Of Nurse Joy, and it's like, she looks familiar. And I'm sitting here like, Brock, there are 1,000 Nurse Joys. The movie is setting something up here that doesn't work because it's Nurse Joy.
Oh, they they have this super distinct design for this fairy lady who isn't important to the plot other than delivering the fucking prophecy. But instead they're like, oh no, this important lady, this Nurse Joy, the one who it's important that Brock recognize.
And also, I mean, like, every favorite character in this show has the same face because it's an anime. But, you know, it's so weird.
Anyway, we see a montage of the braver/stupider Pokemon trainers being like, fuck this!
Yeah.
And just hopping on their Pokemon and riding to the island.
There's a guy who's got a Pidgeotto.
Yeah, he rides a Pidgeotto.
There's a guy who summons his Gyarados.
Yeah.
That for like a couple frames, his mouth is discolored.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
He rides off. There's a girl who has a dugong. She has a dugong.
Yeah.
And they all ride off towards the island.
And then the you know Nurse Jenny? No, Officer Jenny and the fairy lady are watching this, and they're like, "Hey!" Jenny's like, "Hey, get back here! Fucking, I'll arrest you!" And then the fairy lady is like, you know, the one who was just saying they would die, is like, "No, it's fine. They have what it takes to be Pokemon masters.
They are the promised ones."
She's so ominous. And doesn't matter to the plot at all.
I don't know. I don't know why she exists.
Anyway, our heroes.
Yeah, Ash,
are
Misty, and
also.
Brock.
Ash is like, I'm gonna do that also.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use our Pokemon to get to the island. And Pikachu's like, Pika-Pee! Is excited. And Misty's like, can't do that, because none of our Pokemon are that strong.
Yeah.
And Ash is like...
For some reason, Ash's Squirtle has never evolved. And Misty doesn't have any of her evolved Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, that's... Actually, that is true.
Yeah.
You're right. There's an explanation for why Pikachu hasn't evolved, which is that they met a Raichu who was kind of a shit, and Pikachu was like,
I don't want to be like that.
I don't want to be like that. And also, Pikachu isn't a Pokemon that levels up, but to evolve, you have to use a stone, so that means, like, this is not good radio. But yeah, I don't know why Squirtle isn't evolved.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're thinking like, well, what are we gonna fucking do? And then a Viking boat,
a long ship
appears.
Comes up
a long ship that is also, to be fair, a canoe.
Yeah.
It's not very long.
No, it comes up alongside the dock, and there are two Vikings.
There are two Vikings. And they're vaguely Meowth-shaped, living... non-wooden figurehead on their boat. And in a very bad Swedish accent, a Viking who doesn't have a canonical name really, but who I'm going to call Yessi.
These Vikings, Yessi and
Yames, are like, we can ride you to the island. Hjörgedurgen. That's the Swedish chef, but...
I mean, that's literally what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're doing. And Ash is like, hell yeah, let's go. Misty and Brock are like, don't know about that, but Ash is the leader boy, so they follow him.
Despite being the youngest, and probably the worst at doing anything, I feel like Ash is sort of coasted by on having a very high-level Pikachu. There's a great bit where Yessi goes, stroke, 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 as they're like rowing the things, and she's like, I think I'm gonna have one. And Brock
God.
now Brock says, I didn't know Vikings still existed. And Ash says, they mostly live in Minnesota. Now, this raises several questions.
It raises a lot of questions. I know why he says it.
Do you?
Yeah, there's a sports team called the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, okay, but also Minnesota
I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why Ash, the character,
knows about Minnesota.
knows about Minnesota
The
and
state.
says that there are Vikings in Minnesota.
Especially considering he is Japanese.
Yeah, I do know why the writers of this dub made that joke.
Yes. You know, for all the Minnesota Viking Pokemon fans who are also Pokemon fans in the audience.
Clearly one of the writers was.
Also, Vikings. Vikings also exist in the Pokemon universe. Like, that one's just... You can't dub that away.
No.
That one's just canon.
That just happens.
Norway.
Norway.
There's a Norselands.
I mean, we know that lots of cultures outside of Japan exist in the Pokemon universe, such as America and Hawaii.
Unova, please.
And
well, Unova's just one state too.
England. Unova is multiple states. It's like a consolidated, like New York, Texas, California.
I guess it is.
Pastiche.
It does have like elements of multiple. I guess it is the most just generically American.
Yeah. One of the cities in Black and White too is like San Francisco, basically.
Okay. I do love the. There's just a Minnesota region.
Is that in Unova?
I guess it's at least near Unova. I mean, Unova is its own region, right? So, like...
There's also Orr, which is fucking Arizona.
That's right. Anyway. This was not a good plan.
This is not a good plan.
On the Vikings' part. A big wave hits the boat and washes their costumes away. And it is revealed that Jesse and James are Jesse and James, the Team Rockets. And Ash is like, hey, those aren't Vikings! That's Team Rocket! And they're about to do their thing. Where James goes, that's right, prepare for trouble. And, Jesse goes, prepare for trouble, right? Mm-hmm. And then James goes, and make it double. And Meowth is like, we don't have time for the full motto!
And the ship is washed away.
Yes, it is. They are capsized. Misty is saved by her Staryu, and Misty and Brock are both saved by her Staryu, basically.
Right, and Ash is saved by his Squirtle.
Yes, I think Togepi is just in
Right, there's
Misty's
a point
bag.
where Misty is like, oh, Togepi doesn't like this, and just puts Togepi in her backpack.
Okay.
To protect them from the rain.
Mm-hmm. And they survive. They try to survive all these fucked up waves. And they eventually reach the eye of the storm, where they see a fucked up looking island.
Yeah.
With a big palace on it, with a bunch of windmills. This is New Island, and New Island looks really cool. It has very cool architecture.
Yes.
It's fantastically designed. And they sort of float up to the island. And they are met by the cleric lady.
Yeah.
Who welcomes them to New Island. And
I think they end up in sort of a cove.
Yeah. And Brock immediately recognizes her as the nurse.
Yeah.
From before.
And the cleric is like, no.
Nah, I've always lived here. On New Island.
Give me your invitation, motherfucker. And Ash presents his invitation. We
also see that Team Rocket have survived by floating on Weezing. And then we also cut to another scene where we see Mew, who has also arrived at New Island. And it's just kind of fucking around on a windmill.
Yeah,
we just get
having some fun.
A not terribly short scene of Mew just having some fun on a windmill. Yeah. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Put a pin in it.
Ash, Misty, and Brock are led into like a grand foyer.
Yes.
I would describe it as where they see like there's like a banquet table.
A very small banquet table.
Yeah, compared to the size of the room.
Yeah, where some other trainers are.
Yeah, the trainers who like brave the storm are here.
The nurse, sorry, not Nurse Joy. New Island cleric lady tells them to release their Pokemon from their Pokeballs and inside, chat, hang out.
Yeah. And they mostly release their Pokemon from their Pokeballs,
Yeah.
except for Ash's Charizard,
Yeah.
who just stays in.
And I think, doesn't Onyx also just...
I think Onyx also stays in his Pokeball, yeah. Uh-huh.
I guess they didn't want to draw that much.
Yeah,
Onyx is very big.
Although, does Brock release any of his Pokemon
I don't
from
know
his Pokeballs?
Brock might be, like, walking
Does
alongside
Misty?
Vulpix.
Does Misty release any of hers?
Shit,
I think they don't.
I think they don't. I think this might be a dubbing thing, or is just, like, an inconsistency.
Yeah. But all the other trainers have released their Pokemon.
Yeah.
And they're all chilling out.
Uh-huh.
They basically just introduce all their Pokemon to us.
Yes,
like,
they don't introduce themselves. We never learn
No.
any of their names.
we never learn any of
the
their
actual
names.
text. I'm sure they have canonical names, but I'm just, there's Red Vest Boy,
Mm-hmm.
or no, Red Jacket Boy, sorry,
Mhm.
who has a Pidgeotto. They all have, like, I think full teams of 6 Pokemon,
Yeah,
too.
uh-huh. Which is weird
which
because Ash doesn't.
Uh-huh. So yeah, it's Red Jacket guy who rode on a Pidgeotto and has a pretty a diverse team.
Mm-hmm.
There's Water type guy who has all water types.
Uh-huh.
Fucking moron. Fucking
Uh-huh.
buffoon.
Fucking idiot. You're not
Fucking-
a gym leader.
I could kill you with a Mary. I could just present a Mary by your team and your team is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You absolute rube. And then the girl,
Mm-hmm. Who has
The
cute,
girl one.
Who has cute ones.
who has cute ones.
She has like a Vileplume, a Wigglytuff,
Dugong.
Dugong. She has Blastoise.
She has Blastoise, which isn't super cute, but Squirtle's pretty cute.
Yeah. Some other Pokemon, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We cut back to the now ashore Team Rocket,
Mm-hmm.
and they see that everybody's gone inside, but the doors are locked.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, ah, shit. We want to go in and do whatever is happening here. Not really sure, but Jesse spies another opening, which is like a high up sort of pipe that is like a sewer pipe, basically,
Mm-hmm.
that is pumping out water. And Meowth is like, how do you expect us to swim up that? And Jesse says, pretend you're a catfish.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So catfish also exist in Pokemon. Because Whiscash hadn't been invented yet, or else she probably could have said... I mean, she could have said Magikarp.
Yeah.
That's the thing Magikarp does,
but
is
that's
go
not a
up
cat
waterfalls.
pun. That's
Oh,
not a
I
pun
didn't even
because
notice it was a
Meowth is
fucking cat pun! God damn it, Team Rocket. Anyway. And then, we see, back in the place, back in the, the foyer, as all the Pokemon trainers are hanging out,
Mm-hmm.
the cleric lady is like, "Hey, it's time. It's time for your encounter with the greatest Pokemon master on Earth."
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a spiral staircase thing, except it's not a staircase; it's more like a spiral ramp.
Yeah, because it doesn't end. It doesn't
Yeah.
touch the floor.
Yeah, it just kind of descends,
Mm-hmm.
and then a beam of light flows through it, and all the Pokemon that are out kind of start freaking out a little,
Mm-hmm.
and we see a figure descend,
Mm-hmm.
and then we cut back to Team Rocket, where we see them walking through a sewer, and Mew is behind them.
Yeah,
Is-
Mew is following them and staying, doing the thing.
Doing the thing where it's like always behind Meowth's head,
Uh-huh.
and Meowth is getting creeped out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I think they might like find a door or something, and then that's like the end of that scene.
Uh-huh.
They're just establishing they're going through the building.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's Mewtwo.
Mewtwo's
In the
here.
foyer.
Mewtwo has arrived in the foyer.
Yeah. Is like, hey, fuck fuck humans. What's up?
I don't know.
I didn't remember the exact line.
It's fine.
Nurse Joy, sorry, the cleric, is like, yeah, the world's most powerful Pokemon trainer is also a Pokemon.
And
And the world's most powerful Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
It's like multiple.
the other trainers are like, what the fuck?
You can't do that!
You can't be a Pokemon and a Pokemon trainer.
It's cheating! And yeah, at this point, Mewtwo does tell Cleric Lady that he says, of course, the villain thing, which is, you've outlived your usefulness.
Uh-huh. There is a bit where, like, Mewtwo is talking and the Cleric Lady is talking at the same time,
Yes.
establishing that he is mind-controlling her.
Yes.
And then he releases her, and she just sort of collapses on the ground, and Brock catches her. And her hat falls off, I think, and it's
Nurse Joy!
Nurse Joy.
Who'd have thunk besides Brock? That was a very quick...
Yeah.
Sorta...
I don't know
sort of
why.
mystery. And, water type guy is like, hey, no.
Fuck you.
Fucking, if you're a Pokemon, I can fucking fight you.
I can catch you, is specifically what he says.
Yeah, and he tells his Gyarados, I think it's Gyarados, he's Gyarados, right?
Yeah, it's Gyarados.
He tells his Gyarados to use Hyper Beam Attack.
Yeah, And Gyarados uses Hyper Beam and it doesn't work, and Mewtwo just levitates Gyarados and throw it.
No cells.
And Water-type boy is like, what the fuck, man?
And Mewtwo says, I am the new ruler of this world, the master of humans and Pokemon alike. And then I think we cut?
Yeah, we see Team Rocket. They've found something.
Yeah, they found a fucked up room.
They found a lab.
Yeah.
A cloning lab.
Because we see in a bunch of weird tubes, very weird tubes. These are not the same kind of tubes we even saw before.
We see the full cloning apparatus, and it's sort of like shaped like a nautilus.
Oh yeah, it is. Which is cool because like fossils.
And it's got like multiple tubes coming out that end in like tubes. It's got like tubes that end in tanks.
Yes, yeah. And inside those are some weird shapes that look like Pokemon. They look like some slightly weird looking starter Pokemon. So, the final evolutions of the starter Pokemon, that is.
Right.
So Blastoise, Charizard, and Venus. Nope. Yes. Venusaur? Yeah. Ivysaur's the middle one. I always get confused. Those ones have very similar names.
You're a fake fan.
I will kill you.
No.
So yeah, Mewtwo is making more clones. And Team Rocket is like, hey, this is creepy. And Jesse sits on a button that activates a recording. Or no, it doesn't. It activates the machine.
Right, yeah. Well, it does both.
Yes, we get the recording in a bit. But first it activates the machine. It identifies itself as the Pokemon replication system, and says Pokemon DNA sampling sequence now in process. And Meowth is grabbed.
It grabbed Meowth
with a bunch of claws.
And it places Meowth on a conveyor belt.
And James is he's like, Meowth! And is very concerned, and I like how, like, they do care about each other, you know, Team Rocket.
And Jesse and James try to free Meowth from the conveyor belt, as he is, like, sent into a contained area.
I think he's inside the Nautilus, right?
And a little hand comes out and grabs his tail. And as Jesse and James are, like, trying to pull him free, the hand plucks a single strand of hair from Meowth's tail and sends Meowth and Team Rocket flying backwards.
And they sort of watch as the machine does some shit, and the machine, I think it says, like, sequencing complete. We see on a screen a silhouette of a Pokemon, and James goes, "Who's that Pokemon?" And Jesse says, "It's Meowth."
Which is a thing that was on the show.
Yeah, it's a joke from the anime.
In between ad breaks, there'd be a little thing where it'd be like, "Who's that Pokemon?" and display a silhouette. And then when it came back from the commercial break, it would be like, "It's Pikachu."
So yeah, then there's a recording. A recording play. Oh, also, it clones Meowth.
It clones Meowth. Another Meowth pops out and appears in one of the tanks.
Yeah, just kind of sleeping. And Meowth is also very creeped out by this. And then a recording plays of Dr. Fuji, who explains, hey, shit's pretty bad right now. He basically explains most of the stuff we already know, that they cloned Mewtwo from a fossil of Mew, but Giovanni, who was funding the experiments, didn't want just a clone of Mew. he wanted a more powerful, enhanced version of any cloned Pokemon. And Dr. Fuji just talks about how Mewtwo got released and is more powerful and also very angry and is destroying the base. And he says a very trailer-worthy line. We dreamed of creating the world's strongest Pokemon, and we succeeded. Which I do like. It's silly, but it's fun. And then Jesse says, sounds like a real Pokenstein. So also Frankenstein exists.
It's also very weird to me that Team Rocket don't seem to, like, recognize the name Giovanni.
Yeah, they don't comment on it at all. I like to think they're just like, yeah, that sounds like something he'd do.
Yeah.
And then they observe that this must be the cloning lab. But if Mewtwo destroyed it, it means somebody rebuilt it. But who? It's Mewtwo. We know that now, pretty much, but they don't. But right. Mewtwo did it. Anyway, Mewtwo's here again. Foyer, back in the foyer. Mewtwo is monologuing some more. As they are wont to do, and saying, you humans are a dangerous species. You brought me into your world with no purpose but to be your slave. But now I have my own purpose. My storm will create my own world by destroying yours. So the storm is at the center of the plan. This is not only a storm that Mewtwo just made by waving the hand around. It is also a storm that is going to ravage the entire planet.
Yeah.
And then Brock does his best to try to exposition summarize, saying, so you hate all humans and you're going to destroy us to save Pokemon? And Mewtwo is like, no.
Yeah,
Your Pokemon will not be spared. They have disgraced themselves by serving humans. Those Pokemon are nothing but slaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pokemon the movie. Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. Sort of ran so Team Plasma could walk.
Mewtwo fucking logging on to Tumblr to write a call-out post about how Pokemon training is inherently unethical.
But then Pikachu chimes in and says, Pika! Pika Pika! And Mewtwo says, so you say I am wrong? That you are not this human servant? You are his friend? And Pikachu says, Pika! And Mewtwo says, you are as pathetic as the rest. And I love this very serious conversation happening between one side being an artificial clone god and the other being a rat who can only say Pika.
An artificial, an ultra-powerful artificial construct who can create typhoons powerful enough to destroy all life. And a rat.
The best part of it is that Mewtwo can fully understand everything that Pikachu is saying.
100%, because they're both Pokemon.
And then the other Pokemon trainers. You know how Gyarados guy got fucked up? The other Pokemon trainers aren't really taking any cues from that. And Red Jacket guy is like, go Rhyhorn! And Rhyhorn makes a stock bear noise.
It really does.
And gets fucked up by Mewtwo. And Mewtwo, I think, gloats or something. The important thing is Ash challenges Mewtwo to a proper Pokemon battle. Not this fucking psychic cheating. And Mewtwo is like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And do they snap their fingers? Or, like, do they just make a gesture or something? They do something to wake up the clone starters that we saw. We see the weird-looking starters just, like, slide grossly out of the tanks that are very weirdly gelatinous. And Team Rocket is very concerned. Also, Mew is here. Mew follows the starter Pokemon, the clone Pokemon, out.
The clone Pokemon leave through the doors.
Yes.
To the lab. And Mew just follows them.
And James says, I'm scared. And Jesse says, "Me too." And Meowth says, "Meowth."
Uh-huh.
And then we see the clone Pokemon come out into the foyer. And Mewtwo explains, "Like most Pokemon trainers, I too started with Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle." Which is not exactly how that works, Mewtwo, but you don't get all three of them.
One of them.
Uh-huh. But he explains that
And also, not most trainers.
Yeah, sort of statistically speaking, they are...
There's only really one region where trainers start with Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle.
Uh-huh. Dude, that was basically true at the time.
I know. I know that they're, like... I know that this is a thing that has only become untrue because of later entries in the franchise. But
true,
still.
yeah. Although, also, we saw Donphan and Snubbull, and Togepi is here. I mean, Togepi first appeared in the anime, I think, but...
I believe so, yes. Pokemon Johto.
But Mewtwo explains he make clones. They're more powerful. He enhanced the clones. And also, they reveal that they built an entire fucking Pokemon stadium.
They just swing open the doors of the foyer and we see a Pokemon stadium. Complete with stands.
Stands and, like, lines on the floor designating, like, the center and stuff. Like the starting boxes and such. And the other trainers are very confident in their Pokemon to beat these faker Pokemon.
Faker?
I was resisting the fucking urge.
You're not even good enough to be my fake.
I'll make you eat those words. Through this process of them gloating.
You're the only fake Charizard here.
I swear to God.
Sorry.
Can't. Red Jacket Boy, his Venusaur, is named Frou-Frou?
No. Absolutely not.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
It's named, like... God, what was it?
It was named Frou-Frou.
It was Bruteroot.
I don't believe so. I believe it's Frou-Frou.
He says Bruteroot. He absolutely says Bruteroot.
I'm pretty sure he says Frou-Frou.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Because it's a flower.
No. No. It's Bruteroot.
I'm gonna fucking...
Google?
I'm gonna Google Bruteroot.
Pokemon.
It sound... That's a fucking Ben 10 alien.
It super is, but Pokemon nicknames in the anime are stupid.
It's Bruteroot?
It's Bruteroot, I'm right!
His name is Corey, also? Bruteroot. That sucks, though.
It sucks, I agree!
What a bad nickname.
It's a bad name.
Frou-Frou would be way better. I thought it was like a cutesy thing. Like,
no.
Bruteroot. And the girl's Blastoise is named Shell Shocker.
Yes.
Which is a bit of a better name, but Bruteroot. And Ash says, "It may not have a nickname, but I do have Charizard." And then he sends out his Charizard, and...
Charizard's sassy.
Yeah, Charizard immediately just tries to hit Mewtwo with, like, a flamethrower.
And Ash is like, "I didn't tell you to attack." Mewtwo chastises Ash for his Charizard being so disobedient.
Listen, he doesn't have the right badges yet.
Yeah,
He's too high level. But yeah, anyway, then we cut to the fight. The starters are lined up against the false starters, the clone starters.
And Corey, whose name we now know.
Corey. We got Corey, Water Guy, and the girl one.
Corey goes first. He sends out Bruteroot.
Yeah, I guess that's his name. And then Mewtwo is obviously not the greatest Pokemon master.
Well,
because this fucking...
You say your thing.
They fucking send their Venusaur.
The point of this is to prove that Mewtwo's clones are so much stronger than the normal Pokemon.
I guess.
And, like, that would not be, like, a Charizard would take out a Venusaur regardless of the power level.
Yeah, that's okay, that's fair.
Unless
They're just
you
being
had like some
pompous about it.
Yeah, unless you had like some very like creative strategies to win against a Charizard.
In that case, should have sent the Blastoise
True. Absolutely
the
fair.
Venusaur.
Absolutely fair.
If you wanted to really rub it in their faces.
Mm-hmm. They fight.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's again cool fights that we can't describe. Could be the subtitle of this show.
Mewtwo handily beats Bruteroot.
Yes.
And
Mewtwo's Venusaur.
Right, the Venusaur handily defeats Bruteroot.
Also, it seems like Mewtwo is commanding them telepathically.
Right. Well, they do say, like, Vine Whip.
Well, yeah, but that's also telepathy.
Right.
So
sure, but we hear it.
we hear it, yeah.
And then the girl steps up
Mm-hmm.
and tries to fight with Shell Shocker.
Shell Shocker also
again,
gets
loses.
all fucked up. Mm-hmm. And then Ash sends out Charizard,
Mm-hmm.
and smartly tells Charizard, use your speed, not power, and you'll win.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good,
Yeah.
Makes sense. And then there's a long fight between Ash's Charizard and Mewtwo's Charizard.
Uh-huh.
It's very cool. Charizard isn't fast enough, though.
No.
And gets fucking slammed into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And is defeated. And then Mewtwo says, as my reward for winning this battle, I will take my prize, which is your Pokemon. And that's definitely against the rules.
That's definitely against
That's
the
not
rules.
regulation.
Mewtwo summons up these, like, weird eye-shaped Pokeballs.
Yes, that float.
And captures Bruteroot, Shellshocker, and Charizard.
Yeah. This is the point at which I am worried.
Uh-huh.
I become upset.
Mm-hmm.
I start to get upset here, and it gets worse later.
Much to their trainer's dismay.
Uh-huh. And more of these eyeballs,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm going to call them. You get it like eye space ball, because like ultra ball, but it's eyeball. Or Pokeball. I guess that is 2 words, huh?
Does Pokemon mean pocket ball? Because Pokemon is pocket monsters.
Yeah, so I guess so?
Huh.
Pocket ball. I mean, you put them in your pocket.
You can.
Anyway, all the Pokemon are getting taken. It's fucking first cutscene of World of Light up in this bitch.
Uh-huh.
As we just slowly, one by one, see each of the Pokemon getting taken as they try to avoid being taken.
Yeah, Ash, like, futilely tries to put Bulbasaur and Squirtle into their Pokeballs to save them from being captured.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't work. The eyeballs just catch the Pokeballs.
Yeah, which is... That's some bullshit. That I call bullshit on.
Mm-hmm.
That's some high level plays from Mewtwo.
That's some fucking you're playing a tabletop RPG and you come up with a cool idea and your DM is just like, nope.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not how fireballs work.
That's not how fireballs work, I've decided. Because it fucks with my plan.
And then we get like an extended scene of Pikachu like very desperately trying to escape capture.
Uh-huh.
He ends up like climbing up the weird ramp as various eyeballs chase him.
Mm-hmm. He's very fast and clever, and he uses his like thunder shock to get the way from him over time. But he does, using his thunder shock so much, does tire him out.
There's a point where Ash like shields him, and the balls Ash, just like slam against his back. And he tells Pikachu to run, and it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Pikachu gets captured. And that's especially because, like, we know Pikachu doesn't like being in a Pokeball.
Yeah, Maybe that's why, I was thinking, like, why is it that Pikachu is the only one who's managed to evade capture this long? Mm-hmm. Like, why is Pikachu our Kirby here? And I think it might just be Pikachu is fantastic at avoiding getting in a Pokeball.
And it's fucked up.
It's fucked up, but also, Ash does grab onto the ball.
Right, yes.
And manages to follow it. And I think just clings onto it the whole way, actually.
And it drags him.
It drags him into, like, sort of a service shaft kind of thing. And then we see the cloning room again, where Team Rocket is seeing all the these Pokeballs flying in. Or no, I think they just are coming across on that little conveyor belt.
Yeah. And they're seeing the Pokeballs come across on the conveyor belt, seeing the silhouettes of the Pokemon appear,
Yeah.
and going like, who's that Pokemon?
Yeah, in case you missed that joke the first time,
Uh-huh.
they're just gonna keep doing it.
Uh-huh.
And then they hear some yelling coming from the opposite side of the conveyor belt, and Ash, holding the Pikachu ball, the ball that has Pikachu in it,
Mm-hmm.
has hit the conveyor belt, and they're like, "What the fuck? Why is what?" And Ash is like, "I don't have time for your dumb motto today."
Uh-huh.
And Ash and the Pikachu ball both get dragged into by the claw hands that dragged Meowth into the cloning machine earlier. And Ash just yanks Pikachu out so hard that it like seems to break the machine.
Uh-huh.
And Pikachu is safe now. All the Pokemon have been sequenced and cloned.
Yeah,
So
including Pikachu.
Uh-huh. All of these clones just look like the other
they're
Pokemon.
all the same.
They're all identical.
They all look the same as the other Pokemon, except for Pikachu.
Wait, no, Pikachu is identical.
Pikachu has like a very slight. You know how Pikachu has the black bit on their ears that like sort of is like a V shape.
Yeah,
It has like it's like a W instead.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah.
But all the other Pokemon are just identical, which is not how the big starters are.
Yeah,
they have the weird markings.
Again, I don't know why.
Yeah, like you would think if you wanted to differentiate the clone Pokemon. We'll talk about that when we talk about themes, maybe.
Maybe.
But the machine fucking broke.
Uh-huh.
And all the Pokeballs.
Cloning machine broke.
Understandable.
Have a nice day.
And Squirtle and Bulbasaur are back out. And all the Pokemon are getting back out of the capture balls.
Uh-huh.
We don't see Charizard.
No.
I think we see Charizard again later, but...
Yeah.
But Ash hugs Squirtle and Bulbasaur. Oh, hey, Mewtwo is Ash. He has all three starters.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he's also trying to catch them all.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Be the best that he can be. Pokemon Johto.
Yeah. And then we see, back in the foyer, Mewtwo and their clone starters are just kind of standing there menacingly.
Uh-huh.
And Mewtwo is monologuing some more and is like, "You cannot escape your fate. The hour of my vengeance draws near." And all the clone Pokemon, show up.
Mm-hmm.
And Mewtwo is like, "I got him.
Got him.
I got the most powerful Pokemon. I didn't know that was really a thing you wanted until this point in the story, but okay."
Yeah.
And they say something about, like, using them to help destroy the world or something. We're officially at the point where some elements of the story start going a little off the rails.
Yeah. A little bit.
Right into the climax, you know? But also, right behind the new clone Pokemon, the original Pokemon are here, led by Ash, who is just leading them like a fucking army. And also, I think the art style changes for a shot. It turns into like puppet animation, it looks like.
It's like on a 3D background, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's on like a CGI background.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of like little moments of like CG to make something 3D and weird. It works when it's stuff like Mewtwo's palace's like weird architecture. I don't know if it works so well when you have to have animation going on over top of it.
Yeah.
I think Mewtwo and Ash snark at each other a bit or something. I didn't write it down verbatim.
It's fine.
But the most important part is that Ash does the thing. He turns his hat backwards.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "You're mine!" And then just tries to fucking deck Mewtwo.
Yeah, he just rushes forward and punches, or tries to punch Mewtwo.
Like...
What are you doing?
It's the worst plan, but I have to respect it.
I have to respect it.
The fucking moxie on this boy.
I don't understand.
The chutzpah on this lad. It doesn't go well for him.
No, it doesn't. He breaks all the bones in his arm.
And then his legs also, because he was using them to move too fast.
Yeah,
But then, Mewtwo just fucking yeets Ash into the sky. Just throws him into big sculpture, I guess, that Mewtwo has. It's like a stone sculpture of a weird shape. I don't know what Mewtwo built this palace by themselves. And I don't, except maybe that Dragonite and Fearow might have helped. We don't see them again.
Yeah.
We never see them again after that
Yeah.
point.
A Dragonite would be pretty good to have.
Yeah.
Is that Dragonite a clone?
It must be, right? They're all clones, right? But it looks like a regular Dragonite.
But then all the other clones
also look like the regular Pokemon.
I don't fucking know. Anyway, Ash is saved, though.
Ash is saved. Oh, hey, theory. What if that Fearow and that Dragonite are Nurse Joys?
Oh.
They just came with a package.
That would make sense, yeah. Ash is saved by Mew.
Yes!
Who creates a bubble. Who creates a Poppyca bubble.
Yeah, Ash is about to smack headfirst into the fucking wall and just hits a Poppyca bubble. And Mewtwo is like, can it be? And Mew is here.
Yeah.
And Mew just kind of like is very playful with Ash for a second and then just kind of goes down to talk to Mewtwo. Not even to talk to Mewtwo, just kind of goes down just where Mewtwo is at. And Mewtwo starts monologuing at Mew, saying, I may have been cloned from your DNA, but now I will prove that Mewtwo is better than the original, superior to Mew. And meanwhile, Mew is not even fucking looking at Mewtwo. Mew is just like kind of hanging out, just spinning around, looking around. Mew's just chilling. I love this. This feels so much like remember how last time Mewtwo had a conversation with another Pokemon. It was Pikachu who was actively conversating with Mewtwo. This is like if Mewtwo talked to just a regular rat.
Yeah.
Who, like, doesn't know what the fuck Mewtwo is saying. It's just a rat.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Mew gives no shits. But then Mewtwo tries to fight it. I don't know about Mewtwo for that one, but
yeah.
Mewtwo tries to fight Mew, and Mew tries to run away, but then eventually is like, fine. You know, I guess. I don't have anything else to do today. But also, Meowth is here. Team Rocket is here. They're in the foyer now.
Right. No, don't they climb up?
They climb up out of something, I guess the sewers.
Yeah, on like the edge on like the cliffside around the...
Gym? The stadium?
The stadium.
The architecture of this place is hard to keep track of.
Yeah,
the sort of geography. And Mew is making some noises while fighting Mewtwo, and Meowth overhears this and is like, Mew's got a good point! And Jesse's like, what's it saying?
Agreed.
Sure.
Mew's saying you don't prove anything by showing off a lot of special powers, and that a Pokemon's real strength comes from the heart.
Yeah.
I think I watched, there was, for reasons we'll talk about in a second, I looked at the subtitled version of this movie. That conversation is very different in Japanese.
Really?
At least in the subtitles I watched.
Really?
Meowth just says that Mew is like, clone Pokemon aren't better.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, I think I like this version better than that.
Yeah. Mew seems like being kind of an asshole in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, clone Pokemon aren't better.
No.
They're equal.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, again, themes. And that's... I think Mewtwo is getting very frustrated with what Mew is saying, and also I think the other folks are chiming in, maybe. And Mewtwo says, my clones don't need their powers to prove their worth. Which is a weird way of phrasing that to me. And I think sort of blows back everything and sort of resets the battlefield a little bit. And says, I will block all the Pokemon's special abilities with my psychic powers. Now we will see who triumphs. So, no moves, I guess?
No moves is what's happening here.
Which, okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense considering, like, Pound is a move, but I guess that's not a special ability.
Yeah. We see, like, the originals charge forward to fight the clones. Ash's Pokemon are like,
They are less enthused. But the clones are also charging back, so they don't have much choice.
And Mewtwo and Mew just fight in the air.
Yes, they're having a full-on fucking Dragon Ball Z ass. And yeah, they start just fighting, but with no fire breath or anything. Just punch, kind of.
Yeah,
just kind of shove each other.
You know, this scene is very famous.
Yes.
Of the Pokemon just, like, brutally attacking each other.
That's a adjective.
You don't normally see Pokemon fight like this.
Yeah.
They're fighting like actual animals would fight.
Yeah. Okay, they're fighting like a cartoon for kids version of how actual animals would fight.
I guess.
Like, it's not particularly visceral.
I mean, there's no blood or anything, but it's still...
You can be visceral without blood, I'm saying. But also, it's a thing for kids. It's fine. It's got some silly moments, but
there are some funny moments, yes, but still,
I don't know if the funny moments are intentional. Is the thing.
Okay.
Also, we see Ash climbing out of a hole.
Yeah, and a song starts to play.
Not clear where that happened, and yeah, a song and brother, my brother, tell me what are we fighting for?
My brother.
That's a silly moment, maybe.
Yeah, it sucks. I feel like that song. Okay.
What's the name of this? Did you write down the name?
It's called Brother My Brother.
Okay.
It's performed by the Blessed Union of Soul.
Like Seoul, Korea? Or
no.
Of S-O-U-L? The Soul? Okay.
Yeah. Blessed is also spelled with an I instead of an E.
Okay.
So like blessed.
Like Blissey.
Blessed.
Yeah, like Blissey.
No.
The Pokemon.
It's a bad song.
It's not a great...
And it really ruins the mood of the scene.
Yeah, I think that might be why this scene doesn't work for me that well.
In the Japanese version, there's no vocal song here at all. There's just like a very, like, kind of dramatic ambient music. It's a bad song. It sucks and I hate it.
It's so also on the nose.
Yeah.
That it's like... Because it's, again, brother, my brother, tell me what are we fighting for?
How do we end this war? I don't know why I think they're Creed, but they're not. I mean, they kind of are.
They've got some Creed energies, and
it sucks.
And then in case you haven't gotten the song, wasn't enough to sort of get it through what this is. The human characters are all like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
Nurse Joy is like, Pokemon aren't meant to fight, not like this. And then Brock says, why can't Mewtwo see that it's not right to force Pokemon to battle this way? And Misty says, they're all living creatures. This just proves that fighting is wrong. And okay. Listen. First of all, we get it. I know the audience is like 5, but come on.
I didn't see this scene in Japanese. I just wanted to check if brother, my brother was in there, and
of course not.
Then I stopped watching.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, so I don't know if you know this about Pokemon. As a franchise, as a game also, as an anime even, it's very fighting based.
Yeah.
So, okay, to be fair, I get what they're going for, because this is like a fight to the death.
Yeah, basically.
And it's also more, like you said, it's more brutal than regular Pokemon fights in the show tend to be depicted. But can you, and I know also it's a dub, so you gotta get the lip syncing right, but can we get a rewrite? Can we get a rephrase?
Just have them, like, you don't have to have Misty literally say, this just proves fighting is wrong. Just have her be upset that her Psyduck is getting fucked up.
I do want to mention, okay, the Psyduck is a good thing to mention, because that is a genuinely funny moment, which is supposed to be funny, because Psyduck's whole characterization in the show is just being a fucking dumbass, and Psyduck just slaps the other Psyduck, and they both go, sigh, and then the other Psyduck slaps the first Psyduck, and they both go, dock.
That's funny. And it's clearly meant to be funny.
But yeah, not like this.
Not like this.
I mean, again, emphasize the not like this part, and maybe you've got some, because this is not, again, a regulation Pokemon battle.
And then maybe don't have Brother My Brother by the fucking Blessed Union of Soul play over the fight. Just, the fucking instrumental song is really good.
You can have a don't fight moral, I guess. You can make that work even in Pokemon.
Yeah.
But Pokemon does emphasize fighting as just a form of entertainment.
Right. Again, though, the fights in Pokemon are fights for sport.
Yes.
They're not fights for bloodlust.
They're ritual combat.
Yeah.
They're not war.
Right. Brother, why do we gotta fight this war?
And
it's getting more Nickelback, I think.
It is. But also, even if it was depicted better and phrased better, you cannot go this hard on a don't fight moral in Pokemon. You can do that moral, you cannot go this hard.
Yeah.
And then, again, more of it, we get Team Rocket chiming in, and James is like, I was prepared for trouble, but not for this. And Jesse says, make that double for me.
At least that bit's supposed to be funny.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
And then Meowth is approached by Clone Meowth.
Yes, first of all, Jesse and James also promise to never fight each other again, because they feel bad. And they just want to retain their friendship. And that's a very genuinely cute moment also. And then I did write down pretty much verbatim everything that Meowth says to his doppelganger.
It's just occurred to me that we have the power to just insert some of these conversations.
We do.
I feel like
Meowth might be a good one.
Yeah.
Here.
Also, maybe the conversation with Mewtwo and Giovanni earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
So, Meowth has a conversation.
Yes.
Meowth, is approached by the clone Meowth and, bares his claws.
Yes.
And
they both bear their claws.
They both bear their claws. And then, what am I doing? Let's get something straight, copycat. You Meowth ain't gonna push Meowth around. You mean we don't have to fight with each other? But how can I trust you? You was born different. I almost made a clawful mistake. But how do I know you're not gonna pull a fast one on me? You're right. We do have a lot in common. The same oith, the same air, the same sky. Maybe if we start looking at what's the same instead of always looking at what's different, well, who knows? And that's very on the nose.
Yeah,
that's
it's basically the nose. It's all but the nose.
Again, movie for babies. I'm not gonna be too upset about it. I do think it's goofy. They could have done it better.
There's movies for babies who do better,
yes,
I think.
There are shows for children that do a lot better. And then there's an extended scene with Pikachu and Pikachu's clone.
Yes.
That I think is genuinely brutal.
Yeah, it's
sad. It's definitely
sad. It made me very upset to watch. It's I don't know if I'd call it brutal so much as pitiful.
Yeah.
Which still works for the mood it's going for, I think.
Yeah. Pikachu is just standing there while the clone Pikachu wails on him.
Yes. And just slaps him
a
lot, just slapping him in the face repeatedly.
Because again, Pikachu is a rat. It doesn't have
how rats slap each other in the face.
Well, it doesn't have sharp talons.
Okay. I just like that mental image.
And eventually they just collapse on each other.
And Pikachu is explicitly refusing to fight this other Pikachu.
Also, I want to point out, Clone Pikachu is the same voice actor, but she's like doing her voice in a different tone.
Yeah, there is a different
and
delivery.
It's nice. I like it.
Yeah. And Ash sees this happening and tries to clamber down the rocks to save Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of gets down there, and the Pikachus are already collapsing and stuff. And Ash, again, just, if you want a little bit more.
Right, God.
Someone's got to take a stand. Someone's got to say no and refuse to fight, like Pikachu. Which I guess is a little bit more...
Promise. I don't remember the rest of Pikachu.
I can make a stand. No, I can take a Fuck, I don't remember it either. I listened to that song on repeat. Damn it. Anyway, Mewtwo and Mew are still fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And they have sort of descended back into the arena. Their fighting is very cool.
Yeah.
Again, because they're still using their powers.
Yeah, again, Dragon Ball.
Uh-huh. I guess Mewtwo can't suppress Mew's powers.
Yeah, probably.
Probably because
just doesn't care.
Just doesn't care. But it's still suppressing all the other Pokemon's powers.
Right.
So.
All the other Pokemon are also just like...
Yeah, they're all...
completely worn out.
Yeah, uh-huh. And Ash watches as Mew and Mewtwo are about to just laser each other.
Mm-hmm.
And he runs in right in between them.
He just steps right between them.
To stop them fighting. And he is struck by both of the lasers at once.
Uh-huh.
And falls to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And turns to stone.
He turns to stone? I don't know why.
I don't know why. I feel like, again... might be more of... Okay, I know why he turns to stone, because it's a movie for babies and they don't want to show his dead body.
Right, sure.
And everybody is like,
Oh. Okay.
Everybody is not a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mewtwo is...
Everybody disliked that.
Everybody disliked that. Mewtwo even is like, what the fuck?
Uh-huh.
And Pikachu... is still conscious enough, hasn't
Mm-hmm.
been totally beaten unconscious.
Very slowly walks over to Ash.
Uh-huh.
And starts, tapping him on the face.
Uh-huh.
Trying to get him to wake up.
And then tries to shock him awake. Because, that's the thing with Pikachu Pikachu is both baby and bastard. So, it's a thing, Pikachu shocks Ash a bunch.
Uh-huh.
Especially in the early episodes.
Yeah.
And Pikachu just keeps trying to shock Ash awake.
It doesn't work.
And it doesn't work. And at this point, I'm crying.
Yeah.
This part
is
the worst bit.
And all the Pokemon are there with you.
Uh-huh. Including Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the Pokemon start crying.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that pen?
Yeah, you remember, you remember how Pokemon's tears...
Yeah.
...were said to bring the dead back to life.
Yeah. But there's no Pokemon tears today. But there is. There is now.
The Pokemon cry, and their tears start to, float away from their face.
Towards Ash. And also the storm fades?
Yeah.
The storm just stops.
Uh-huh.
And a beam of light comes down from the sky on Ash, and Pikachu's tears finally land on Ash, and he's alive.
Yeah.
He's not stone anymore. He's come back. And Pikachu is very happy, and they hug.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we see Togepi come out of Misty's bag, so they never got Togepi.
They still weren't sure what kind of moves Togepi used.
Or also, maybe they didn't want the Pokemon who is most baby to be involved in this fight.
Fair.
And also, the other thing is, I think Togepi's just been in that bag this entire time ever since they got washed away.
I think so, yeah,
Togepi's just been having himself a nap through all of this.
Yeah.
And just wakes up and is like, hey, it's me. I'm baby. I'm happy. What's going on? How's everybody feeling? I'm awake now. I got slightly drowned a bit ago, but I'm fine. What did I miss? Anyway, Mewtwo monologues.
Yeah, Mewtwo says the line.
The line.
He says the thing.
They say the thing.
Mewtwo says the thing.
The human sacrificed himself to save the Pokemon. I pitted them against each other, but not until they set aside their differences did I see the true power they all shared deep inside. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Which is fucking everyone quotes that line. Because it's good.
It's pretty good. Like it's on the nose,
it's
it's
still the same like on the nose stuff. I think Mewtwo's voice actor delivers it with a gravitas that makes it feel less corny.
Absolutely. And there's something about the writing of it that is a little different, I think. I don't know what it is exactly, but again, it might just be coming from a character who was almost built to say it. Like this like Mewtwo is almost an OC in this movie. Yeah. And like it feels weirder to have established Pokemon characters who do Pokemon battles at Pokemon gyms talk about how fighting is bad. And then we're still a little off the rails on the story, because then all the cloned Pokemon start flying.
Yeah, the Mewtwo telekinetically
is lifting them off the ground. And they are sort of waving goodbye. And Ash yells, "Mewtwo, where are you going?" And Mewtwo says, "Where my heart can learn what yours knows so well. What transpired here I will always remember. But perhaps for you these events are best forgotten." Yeah.
So they
fly off. The Mewtwo and Mew and all the cloned Pokemon fly somewhere where Mewtwo's heart can learn what yours knows so well.
Nothing.
Okay. And then Mewtwo wipes everyone else's memories.
Yeah. And we cut back to the ferry terminal. And it's like back to how it was like before everyone tried to leave. Officer Jenny is telling them not to go. And it's the biggest storm ever.
Right.
The prophecy.
And
then Nurse Joy appears.
Yes.
And informs everyone that they can stay in the Pokemon Center as a temporary shelter until the storm passes. And then the storm passes. It's a miracle.
Also, there's also evidence to suggest the kids who are in the fairy place.
Right.
Like, Ash is like, "Hey, what? How did we get here?
Hey, why are we here?"
And Misty is just like, "I guess we're just here because we're here."
And Ash is like, "Yeah, all right. That makes sense."
And yeah, the storm clears up. It's a miracle.
And the final shot of the movie is like basically they run out onto the dock. And Ash sees Mew in the distance fly behind a cloud.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, hold on." And did you guys see that? And Misty and Brock are like, "No, I don't see anything." And Ash is like, "Do you have what he said?"
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Ash says, "The day I left home to start my journey, I saw a really rare Pokemon. I thought I just saw another one."
And I think Brock is like, "Maybe you did,
bud."
That rare Pokemon he saw
was
for the record,
Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh in the first episode of the anime.
Yeah.
And I think we even see its silhouette in that episode,
yeah,
which was before Gen 2 was even a thing.
Right, they designed Ho-Oh
based on that silhouette, right?
I think they designed Ho-Oh. I think Gen 2 was in pre-production.
Okay.
And they had concept art of Ho-Oh.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that movie. We get a credit sequence.
Also, the narrator's back. You remember him at the start?
Right.
He goes, "Many strange legends surround the mysteries of Pokemon, and just as many adventures await our young heroes as they continue on their quest. For Ash and his friends, the journey's just begun."
Oh,
and then also we see Team Rocket.
right. I think this is after the credits, or I could be wrong.
No, it's before the credits.
Okay, we see Team Rocket, who are on a fucking abandoned island.
Yeah,
in the
they're
middle
on
of
the
nowhere.
island. They're on New Island.
Oh, is it New Island?
I believe so.
Okay.
But also, all the palace and stuff has been cleared
Right.
off of it. And they're like,
They're into it.
they're like, we don't know how the fuck we got here, but this is pretty all right.
Yeah.
This is pretty chill. And they say, this is Team Rocket signing off again.
And then we get the credits,
Uh-huh.
which is just some pop songs from
Yeah,
the album. I'm
here-
not going to talk about
Here
those
we
songs.
are, safe at last.
And it's just, you know, some cute shots of Ash and Misty and Brock.
Yeah, on their journey.
On their journey.
In a bunch of different places.
So that's the movie.
There is also a post-credit scene of
Oh.
of Mew flying over a mountain,
Oh, okay.
but it's just that.
Okay.
It's just Mew fly. It's just another shot of Mew on a random landscape.
Okay.
In case you wanted more of that.
Mew is cute. So,
Mew is cute.
You know, I'm not offended.
There's a song that's like, one of the pop songs is like, don't say you love me, you don't even know me.
Is that the one
it's
that
not
just
like
sounds
we're gonna get married. Give me time.
Is that the one that just sounds like a Britney Spears song?
It might be. It might.
I didn't write these down.
Okay.
Because
There's a lot of them. Some of them in the credits are real bangers.
Okay.
But we get like 5 minutes. Nope, that's not true. We get like 5 seconds of them,
Hmm.
and then they switch to another completely unrelated
Oh,
song.
weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like, we get very short. It's not a long credit sequence, but it has the same number of credit songs that like a Marvel movie has.
So let's talk about that mind wipe real quick.
Yeah, so that
The-
sucks.
That sucks. The entire reason that happens is just so they don't have to acknowledge the events of this movie in the anime series.
Which feels especially bad considering the themes of this movie are about fighting being bad.
Yeah.
Because again, they don't mean that kind of fight, but when you add that in,
Uh-huh.
it makes it feel even weirder.
And also, like, there's literally no motivation there for Mewtwo to wipe their memories. There's
Yeah.
no reason.
There's no
Absolutely
reason.
nothing.
It's some real fucking original English dub of Sailor Moon season 1 type shit. Like, oh, Usagi's lost her memories. They've all lost their memories because that's what happens in season 2. But nothing happened to make that actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
It just does.
It just does.
We didn't establish that was a possibility, but it.
Yeah. So is there anything more we can say about the themes of this movie, you think?
I feel like the movie says it all.
Yeah.
So it's don't be racist.
It is kind of about not being racist. I don't know if intentionally, but there's like a whole thing about like, oh, we were the same.
Yeah, we shouldn't focus on our differences, but what we have in
Yeah.
common. Which
Mhm.
I don't know if Mewtwo works as the villain for that story.
Yeah.
Because their stakes in that narrative are weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so Mewtwo's whole thing is like feeling that because they were created for a purpose they do not want to serve,
Mm-hmm.
like they have no purpose and that they have to stand alone. Basically,
Right.
They do not fit. The comparison to Frankenstein that Jesse made might actually be a very valid literary reference for this story because it is like Mewtwo's thing is not fitting in.
Right.
Like, which I guess that does kind of tie them into that narrative in the fact that like Mewtwo's whole thing is being different.
right.
Like Mewtwo feels distinctly different and feels like they do not have a place in this world, so they are making a new one.
Right.
And also, fuck humans.
Yeah.
But like, fuck humans doesn't really get much more expansion
Yeah,
on...
and like, okay, the reason this happens is because they made the prologue after they made the movie.
Yes.
I think that's the like production order on that. I'm not entirely sure.
Right.
But based on the prologue, and I have more to say about the prologue after
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Based on it though, it feels like I want Mewtwo's motivations to just be fuck humans. I want Mewtwo's like entire arc to be like, which would still be very simple, but like, fuck humans, I want to destroy all humans, and then Ash is like a very kind-hearted human, and Mewtwo's like, oh, humans maybe aren't so bad.
Yeah, Mewtwo is a Pokemon who has been
I'm gonna go destroy Team Rocket, specifically, not just all humans.
Mewtwo is a Pokemon that has, throughout their entire existence, aside from one telepathic ghost clone child, has had basically nothing but negative interactions with humans.
Yeah.
All of only their initial friend is taken away. Their creators are flippant about their very existence. And someone who claimed to be a friend ended up just wanting to use Mewtwo.
Yeah. I very much wish that also Mewtwo didn't have the other clone Pokemon. I feel like Mewtwo would be much more effective if they were just working alone.
Yeah, like it does.
Or like working alone plus Nurse Joy.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Nurse Joy's position.
Or if at least it was more explicit that like Mewtwo is... If Mewtwo was controlling the clone Pokemon the same way that they were controlling Nurse Joy. Like, because again, it feels like what... Mewtwo is like, no, Pokemon, fuck you. Don't like them. Slaves. Disgraceful.
And then he makes the clone Pokemon his slaves.
Yes.
Like, I don't understand that either. He's like very mad.
And wants them to be superior to the others.
Yeah.
But they're inherently inferior to him, to them, in their conception of how Pokemon mastery works.
Yeah.
It's weird. It doesn't really work.
No.
It's got so many distinct parts that could make for better, like more coherent narratives, I think. But also, I don't know if any of those parts work together.
Yeah.
Like, they are different stories, fundamentally. These are, like, different movies.
And speaking of which, the prologue.
Yes!
The tone of that prologue, and again, it was made after the movie.
Right.
Is so different.
Yes.
It's like fucking, scientist, dead daughter, clone... Which, like, never comes up again. Again, because the prologue was made after the movie.
Right. It was, like, they literally just... invented I don't even know if they invented Amber 2 to give a motivation for the scientists that was more like sympathetic, I guess, but
specifically a motivation for Dr. Fuji.
Right. Amber 2 was also clearly created for narrative purposes, to have Mewtwo, to give someone for Mewtwo to bounce off of, to give Mewtwo an early tragedy. But does Mewtwo even need an early tragedy?
Because like Mewtwo's entire
birth
existence
is a tragedy.
Was a tragedy. Yeah.
And also, like, again, Mewtwo's stuff about, like, am I a person or am I a Pokemon? Like, and their whole thing about, I am both the greatest Pokemon master and a Pokemon. And how they are the master of both humans and Pokemon. It's very... That does tie in very well, I think, to the theme of, like, Mewtwo's fundamental problem is feeling like they don't fit in.
Yeah.
Is feeling like they are apart from literally everybody else on the planet.
Yeah.
And they are trying to deal with that with some unhealthy coping mechanisms involving revering themselves as the most powerful entity alive. But otherwise, the stuff about being a person or a Pokemon doesn't really come up again.
Yeah.
And again, there's no difference. Like, this movie, they just have conversations with each other. Like, they just talk. We just can't understand all of them, except for Meowth, and the ones that are telepathic. But, like...
Yeah.
And again, Mewtwo doesn't need that early tragedy necessarily. Again, that part ties in well. Again, like I was saying, I think that what Amber 2 adds to Mewtwo's narrative ties in well with Mewtwo's whole thing about not fitting in a way that probably works more than just Mewtwo hatches from its tube and is immediately like, fuck this, actually.
Right.
So it's weird. And again, like, there is like a tonal clash. I see what you're saying, because like we see them die. We see Amber 2 and Charmander 2 and Bulbasaur 2 and Squirtle 2.
Mm-hmm.
We see them die. And
then in the movie itself, they can't show Ash dying.
They show Ash as a dead body. They show him as a statue. They can't. Most of the Pokemon just sort of lightly tap each other.
Yeah. Because
that's all they can do without their powers. Pikachu just fucking slaps each other. And also, like, again, that scene is probably... The Pikachu stuff is better, probably because of the pathos aspects of Ash's Pikachu refusing to fight.
And also because it doesn't have a brother, my brother.
Yes. But also, Clone Pikachu slaps Ash's Pikachu the same way, basically, that Psyduck slaps each other.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help.
Pikachu is also... But Ash's Pikachu is visibly hurt.
That's true, yeah.
It's, like, visibly bruised.
But yeah, it's such a tonal clash, and also with the fucking moralizing from the side characters.
Yeah. You can also, like, really tell this is an anime movie because Misty and Brock do not need to be here.
Yeah. God, they really don't.
It would, like...
There is literally... Ash literally doesn't even need them to survive the waves.
No.
Because he just survives with Squirtle.
I don't know, like, those other 3 trainers are there to just be there.
To have
Venusaur and Blastoise.
Yeah. And, like, what does that scene even really add? Like, because it's... Okay, Mewtwo has a big fucking arena that they have built for Pokemon battling.
Okay, you know what that would add? If the movie were going fully in on Mewtwo hating humans and wanting to destroy humans, if those other trainers were just completely not understanding of Mewtwo at all, like that one guy tries to catch him,
right?
That would be like, oh yeah, I see.
If they emphasize
of course, humans would do this to me.
Yes.
And then Ash is like, he's the exception. He's the one who's like, hey, I need to talk to him. I need to talk to them. I need to talk to Mewtwo and figure out how we can fucking come to an arrangement so he doesn't kill all humans.
And Pokemon. Except for clone Pokemon.
Right. I think you could also, like, take out Mewtwo being okay with killing Pokemon. Like, if Mewtwo was N, if Mewtwo wanted to free Pokemon from trainers, misunderstanding that, most Pokemon are equals.
Yeah. It's so weird that Brock even, like, brings up the idea of Mewtwo doing this to save Pokemon.
Right.
Because, first of all, there's nothing really to suggest that before that point. But also, why would Brock even say that? Like, how would that even cross his... Save them from what? Humans? Their friends and partners? Like you? Who love your fucking Vulpix and Onix and Geodude? Like, it's weird that the idea of a Pokemon being in favor of Pokemon liberation would even cross Brock's mind at this point in the universe, the universe's narrative, like, because Team Plasma didn't exist yet. Like, that's Team Plasma's thing. That is explicitly, like, Pokemon as a franchise being, like, basing a villainous team off of, like, actual things people have pointed out about Pokemon's premise and kind of trying to, like, play with that premise and, like, question that premise. Like, are Team Plasma right? Is Pokemon battling bad? And the games obviously come out firmly as no, which also this movie kind of does. Again, the battling isn't really the thing.
Yeah.
Until it is. There's so many different... The movie is not coherent in its themes.
Yeah, it's like, the movie is mostly coherent until Mewtwo opens the doors to the stadium. At that point it starts. Like, you built a stadium? You planned for this. You planned to have Pokemon battles. Which is also, it's such a cool idea, I think. Is the thing, is like a very powerful psychic Pokemon that is clearly directly intelligent enough to, like, communicate with people,
making itself into a Pokemon trainer
Yeah.
by just commanding an army of Pokemon. Like, that's fun. You
Yeah,
can do really cool stuff with that. I don't know if this movie... Like, again, it's just one of many plot points that don't really fold together with the others very well, and end up not having enough screen time or exploration to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Is there anything more we can say?
Not about the theme, but I don't know if we can say anything more about the themes, but, like, again, also, did make me cry. I'm complaining about the movie, but, like...
Did make me cry. His pathos
fucking Pikachu
is decent.
Good. Pikachu is again, the voice acting actually does a lot. Like, you can feel so much voice act, you can feel so much voice acting. You can feel a lot of Pikachu's voice acting.
You can just reach out and touch it.
But yeah, it's like she's just good at doing Pikachu's voice and like getting Pikachu's emotions across. Despite only being able to say 3 fucking syllables. And also the fucking just the amount of times that they have Pikachu try to shock Ash away in desperation. I'm gonna start crying saying that. It breaks my fucking heart.
It's really good. I also think that, like, aside from a few moments that are kind of weird, the movie does have very good animation.
Yeah.
Especially, like, the sequence where Pikachu is running away from the Pokeballs trying to catch him.
Yes, that is a very fun sequence. Also, all of Mew and Mewtwo's fights. Everything that focuses on, like, the architecture of Mewtwo's palace.
Even the fight with the pirate at the beginning is pretty good.
Yeah.
The bit where they're trying to, like, not drown is very good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's got good animation. You can tell that this has a movie's budget.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, don't know if I would recommend.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not a Pokemon fan, how the fuck did you get to this point in this fucking video? But also, if you haven't watched the show, these characters are weird and, like, unexplained.
Yeah,
But even aside from that, there's not a lot of draw, maybe.
Yeah.
You like Pokemon designs? Just the creatures?
If you just like to look at Pokemon, maybe it's fine.
Mewtwo's very cool looking. Get Donphan's introduced. Don't even get its name.
No. We get Snubble and... I think we get Meryl. Yeah,
Meryl is named, yeah.
In the short. The short is cute. The short is
very cute. I would recommend the short.
Yeah.
Because you don't need much to know, like... Everything you need to know about these characters' personality is basically told to you. And it's mainly that Togepi is baby, and Pikachu is babysitter.
If that's all we have to talk about, as a reminder, next season of Late School will be Sailor Moon Season 2.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon R.
Do you think we'll ever revisit the Pokemon anime?
I don't know if I'm interested in watching the original series.
Okay.
Because I think we'd have a lot of the same problems with it.
Yeah.
Specifically, like, it's very clearly made for small children.
Right.
I would be interested in watching Sun and Moon. The new one? The Gen 7 show.
Oh, Gen 7, right.
I also might be... There's one coming... There's the next series, which is just going to be called Pocket Monsters in Japan.
Really?
Which seems like maybe sort of a semi-reboot. It's still Ash.
Okay, so it's not like Pokemon Origins or whatever it was.
No. We should watch Pokemon Origins, because that's
that'd be fun.
Very short and standalone. But I'd be interested in watching either of those, especially because I really, really like the animation style.
Okay.
And from what I've seen, they do a bit more with the characters and, like, maybe, like, not much with themes, but there's at least stuff to talk about with the characters, whereas, like, Brock and Misty are fine.
Right.
But they're Brock and Misty.
Misty is snarky and doesn't like bug Pokemon.
Misty is a tsundere.
And Brock likes to cook, and girls.
And that's kind of it.
Breed Pokemon. That's a thing he does. He's a Pokemon breeder.
That's true. I don't think that comes up until later.
And Ash is He's just a lad. Ash is just kind of a lad.
Ash is just a lad. But yeah, we might watch those.
Okay. And we might hit the other movies, right?
We might, yeah.
Pokemon 2000. And...
We'll see. That one might have some of the same problems.
Okay. That one I know has prophecy bullshit, but I think it ties it into the story more. Also, while I'm here, that's a thing I forgot to mention. What the fuck was that prophecy bullshit? What did that have to do with anything in the story?
Yeah. You know, gotta have a prophecy.
The Wind of Waters.
We might watch the one where it's in Venice and Latios is a girl that kisses Ash.
Oh, boy.
No, we won't.
Well, no, now that you've said that, I'm keeping that into the podcast because I need to have other people hold you accountable. I don't want to see this, but I do want us to talk about it.
As always, thanks for listening. You can find me at Lorena27 on Twitter.
And you can find me at FryLordZerek on Twitter.
And you can find the show at late_school.
And thank you to Kevin MacLeod for the use of the song Electrodoodle. Everybody wants to be a master.
Everybody wants to show their skill.
Everybody wants to get there faster.
Make their way to the top of the hill.
Each step,
you climb.
One more step up the ladder. Each breath,
you take.
Every move you make.
Pokemon Johto.
You just fucking I was waiting for you to yes and you were just like, no, continue.
That's awful. Gotta catch 'em all.
This is gonna be so inaccessible.
Pokemon. It's Pokemon. That's what Pokemon is. We gotta reference the game. It's the Pokemon game.
Yeah, it's just gonna be so inaccessible to anyone who hasn't played it.
That's fucking no one. I realized that we said we wanted to be accessible to those people, but they don't exist.
Okay. I don't think that's true, but okay. We see...
That's gonna be the stinger.